All right, Titan fans, we are back for the fall split. Divinity happened, Gladiator happened, and now it is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It is time for some D4 Cap Conqueror action. My name is Goose, and I'm joined here on the caster desk by none other than the legendary, the one, the only, Eli Romeo. How you doing, Romeo?
I'm doing pretty good. Hello, Titan fans. How do you feel about tonight's matchup? Elysium Rush against Hard Hat Zone.
Let's go. Let's go. Yo, it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup today. We got some heavy hitters coming back, I believe, from the Gladiator League, as well as, I believe, Elysium. You know a little bit about them because you were part of the organization. Really quick, before we get on this, tell us a little bit about the teams that we're going to be playing with today, Hard Hat Zone and Elysium. Start out with Elysium, though, Romeo.
With Elysium, I have just joined. I had played against Elysium Sword in Gladiator when I was with OMT, and they were a hell of a threat, but as with Elysium Rush, the D4 cap team, I mean, considering that the owner of the league is their mid laner, so I can't say anything bad about them. You know what I mean? But no, I've played with almost every member on Elysium Rush, and they are fucking threatening. They're fairly aggressive, so I'm expecting a pretty strong game from them. On the other hand, Hard Hat Zone, I got a statement actually to read out from Vertigo on Hard Hat. He says, "The Hard Hat helmets is needed to be safe for people. Tonight we play safe and secure." So, I'm expecting some scaling comps out of them, but they were one of the top teams in Gladiator, and now I believe they're the same team except for one different player, coming from Gladiator to the step up to Conqueror. So, it will be interesting. To be fair, we did see them get taken down in the finals by Breeze, which was like an 8th seed Team Ambition team. So, I don't know how that's going to translate with them coming to Conqueror. But I know you've said Question Mark is a player to watch out for.
Absolutely. I think Question Mark is a player to watch out for. Unfortunately, I don't believe that Question Mark is going to be playing in this first game at least. He's going to be replaced by Triple B Bennett. And then let's just go over the rest real quick. As we're going down in that top lane for our Hard Hat Zone, we're going to have Triple B Bennett, Amon in that top lane. We're going to have Haman Karn in the jungle. We're going to have Antagonist in that mid lane, and then rounding out the bot for Hard Hat Zone is going to be All Out Potato with the support and the Barbsy. And then on that right side, for the side of Elysium in that top lane, we're going to have Abandon. We're going to have in that top lane, we're going to have Reggie in the jungle, known menace throughout many leagues, Reggie. We're going to have in the mid lane, the Book of Eli. And then rounding out that bot, we're going to have Creatine and Alilic in that support role down there for the side of Elysium. Some of these players are ringing some bells here as we see this draft coming through, right? We're seeing the Volibear, the Yone, and the Ezreal getting picked up. We're seeing the Graves and the Maokai getting picked up. There are a few names that really stand out to me. The first one is going to be Abandon. Abandon coming, formerly known as DC Abandon, is coming off of what used to be Dragonclaw Cloud, turned into, I believe, like Hyperion or Titan.
Titan Esports Hyperion. Yeah, they were in the finals of Conqueror just last split. Actually, yes. They
won.
They won, yeah. They won with the greatest base race in a round 5 match. Trundle Jinx, baby. It was huge.
Yeah, Trundle.
Actually, Abandon was the one who finished off the Nexus, for that matter. So you could say Abandon won. Oh,
Abandon won Conqueror. That's what we're going with.
Abandon won Conqueror.
No Dragonclaw Cloud, none of that. Abandon won Conqueror.
Abandon won Conqueror.
We have the champion of Conqueror in this first game for the side of Elysium. So that's already going to be tipping in the side of their favorites. We're also going to see probably not the Abandon champion coming out yet, as we see some of these support champions getting banned away. But that key Ribbon is getting banned away from Abandon. So we're not going to see Ribbon, that signature champion for Abandon, that he's not going to be able to play that this first game. We are going to see the Victor come through in the Graves. And it's funny because you said Hard Hat Zone gave you that statement that said that the Hard Hats are for safe play. They're going to be playing safe, well-rounded, controlled gameplay. And based on the champions that you're seeing now, right? We're seeing the Volibear, we're seeing the Yone,
it's a little bit opposite. It's a little bit flipped, man. I said Elysium are good with their damage, aggressive, and Hard Hat is supposed to be safe and secure. But you got Yone, you got Volibear into a Maokai Victor. I mean, I think they threw the Hard Hat to Elysium here and are going to be the ones who have to play to be aggressive.
Absolutely, they got their jackhammers out tonight because they're they're definitely going to be going. We're going to skip that joke. Anyway, so we got the bars coming through for the side of Elysium as these comps are starting to round out, right? I haven't gotten to see these people, these two teams play too much. I have seen specific players from the teams play. However, I haven't seen them play as a team. Based on the compositions that we're looking at, what do you think that these teams, like, what do you think is going through in the mentality, right? What do you think is going through in the heads of some of these players as this draft is rounding out? What are like the game plans coming through that you're seeing? Like, what are the win conditions that you think Hardhat Zone or Elysium might be trying to play for with some of these champion picks?
In my opinion, I think with the draft of Elysium, you're really just looking to scale up and kind of get the later dragons, maybe try to stack some dragons if you can. You got Graves, he's good, 2-3 items deep. Maokai's probably the safest laner in all of top lane. Victor is a champion that you just kind of sit there and farm until you get your first kill and are able to upgrade your death ray. And then, I mean, Varus, his chains of corruption are gonna be huge when it comes to team fights, and I imagine they're gonna round off with probably an enchanter support to keep them nice and healthy. Whereas because Maokai's probably gonna be the engage with Varus. On the other side, you have a Yuumi. You get someone fed with a Yuumi on your team, and that is as scary as it can be, man.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
really,
That Ezreal bot lane with the Yuumi, that used to be one of the most dominant bot lanes. Just for like the meta for a while, once Yuumi and Ezreal, once that got figured out. Now Yuumi just on anybody is the most dominant lane for a lot. But
this is actually a little more interesting. Set top into what I'm thinking is Yone top.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, if you rock Talia mid,
it could be a Talia jungle. It could be that Talia jungle, right? We could see the Yone in the mid, the Valley Bear top, Talia jungle. That is a possible combination, but I think the Yone, based on what I think I saw from who plays what, I think the Yone top makes a bit more sense for Triple B Bennett to take, as well as that Valley Bear in the jungle for Haman Karn. However, we're going to see on the other side, you were saying that the Maokai is one of the safest laners, but we're going to see the set come through, which makes me think that Maokai is actually support Kai. Who is also just Maokai right now is just really strong. The tree trunk is back. He is putting on for his fallen soldiers of the Twisted Tree line, and really making a comeback right now with this current meta. And Maokai, the saplings are ridiculous. You can build him tank. You can build him full AP. Maokai is actually just a menace, as we see here. However, now that we have this draft rounded out, before we get this game started underway, if you're in the Twitch chat, if you can hear us right now, make sure you get those points and vote who wins this game, Hardhat Zone versus Elysium. Before we get on to the rift, Romeo, give me your quick prediction on who takes away game one.
See, this is completely unbiased. I just have to say Elysium, obviously. Totally unbiased. But no, in seriousness, I do think Elysium wins the draft solely off their team fight is a lot better. So unless Hardhat Zone hard smashes these lanes, Elysium's going to be able to take control. I think they do have the better engage. They have some really strong CC, especially really good when you're against a Yuumi. But I think the biggest matchup to watch out for who's going to have the advantage going into the first couple objectives is Set versus Yone. I think that matchup there is going to relatively determine the early game for these teams.
Absolutely, that top lane is going to be the lane to watch for this. I think I'm going to go with the side of Hardhat Zone solely because they have a Talia. Shout out to Killbot. But before we get onto the rift, make sure you get those points in. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back in just a minute as we get onto the rift for the first game of the Conqueror split, the fall split. We are back, baby. Titan Esports is back, and I love it, for the fall split between Hardhat Zone and Elysium. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
welcome to the Summoner's Rift, where we are going to get started in Game 1, Series 1 of the Conqueror split. And everyone knows Game 1 determines how the league's going to go in terms of excitement. How do you feel right now about both these teams, Goose?
I'm feeling pretty good about both these teams. I think my favorite part about this league and these teams is that just the champion diversity that you see. I think you won't always get that Yone in the top lane. You don't always see the Varus pick come out. Talia's definitely kind of been an emerging pick, so I'm excited to see these champions getting piloted by these what I would consider higher level players than what I'm used to. Right, I'm coming out of the Divinity Gold League, so I'm real. That's what is most exciting, is like seeing like the actual hands, the mechanics, as everyone's kind of been memeing that as we get a little bit of a tickle fest in that top river before we start. But everyone's been kind of memeing as these preseason changes are coming out, right? That like League is making it less about the actual thought process and more about how quick your hands are. And I'm excited for that, because I think that's where the game actually happens. I think that's where you really say that's when you show the top gap. That's when you show the mid gap. In terms of like just who has the quicker hands. So based on like these champions, right? Based on these champions, who do you think might have, like, someone's gonna have the play of the match? Who do you think it goes to?
Well, just based on the champions alone, I think play of the game's gonna end up on like if it's Elysium, it's probably gonna be Graves or Victor, just because it's the nature of those champions. If it's on Hard Hat, I have to say it's gonna be Yone. It's going to be Yone, man. There's no way. Oh yeah, I just see like if Hard Hat starts winning, a play of the game's gonna be like a 5-man ultimate from Yone into a pentakill. Like, you got the Yuumi, someone needs to get ahead. It could be Ezreal as well. I'd say it's probably Ezreal or Yone on the side of Hard Hat, or Graves Victor on the side of Elysium. Okay, I think once we get later into the game, that's who you're watching out for, especially if Yone's able to get ahead.
Absolutely. Well, right now the Yone is a bit behind after that trade. The wave is pushing towards them, and Yone's probably just got to wait for that to come towards them. But yeah, no, I would probably have to agree, right? The Yone is definitely going to be the playmaker for the team. I think Yuumi and Talia are kind of underrated playmakers. I think that Weaver's Wall is really something to look out for in terms of making big plays, especially with the Volibear team here and probably looking at the dive. As we're coming through the first gank of the match of the season, Haman, Karn, and Bennett got abandoned in a rock in a hard place, and the first blood's going to go over to Haman Karn as we get the first actual death and kill of the Conqueror League fall split underway.
I think something interesting to state there is Abandon had the choice to flash away and keep it safe, or to take the 2v1. It went for a really ballsy play. Should that Facebreaker land, he would have had the first blood on Yone before going down. Yone was forced to burn his flash in that 1v1 engage, but Volibear's gonna be looking strong, and he's coming back for a repeat gank here.
And the fact is that Abandon's right back in his face. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to take this one with Bennett being so low. Haman Karn is gonna get the stun off, and Abandon again just not where they want to be. The wave is there, does have that Facebreaker available in the flash still. The Facebreaker comes out, does not flash, holds onto the flash, and he takes down Haman Karn.
Oh my god!
Pick up kill, but that just is some good playing play. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about hands right there. Abandon putting on, showing why he won the Conqueror's League last play.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Abandon was crazy trying to hold his flash till the end of Worlds, but man, 2v1 there, and he's able to pull back a kill. That's really impressive, and he still has his flash.
Still has the flash, got the trade kill. Haman Karn actually had to blow his flash, so he still has his flash, and both the jungle and the top laner for the side of Hard Hat Zone no longer have their flash, as Potatoes getting down some quick poke onto the bears there.
That being said, they do have about a 600 gold gap on their side. Not much, but early into this game, not something you really want to see. Volibear's buying the Boots of Lucidity, gonna have a quicker clear because of it. Obviously, he's not gonna be able to keep up with Graves. That champ clears like a madman, but it's definitely something to help him get some items early into this game.
Oh, absolutely, and that gold lead's definitely going to go straight over to because of Bennett and Karn on those ganks, right? Because you have 2 people involved and 2 kills right there. That's going to be the extra assist goal that's going to help their team a little bit in this early game, as you said, right? As those boosts come through, the cooldown can be coming. He's going to be ganking more often. He's going to be all over the map. As the gank comes in for the side of Reggie, just going to throw out that smoke screen and then walk away as he's spotted. Not too much danger there.
And Volibear in the top lane again. This man is relentless.
Oh, absolutely. They know where their win con is early, but Reggie's coming up. We look like we're gonna have a 2v2 on our hand as the counter gank. Looks like Reggie also knows where this lane is. As Abandon goes in for the gank, definitely doesn't know Hamantar is there. The dash away is gonna come through Yo. Now out comes the volley bear, the 2v2, the smoke screen comes down. Reggie getting chopped up by the Yon. Burn is gonna go, but he's gonna flash away to safety. Now it's Abandon versus Karn in this top lane. Just smacking him up like his name was Ali. Karn goes down again to Abandon. This time he does have to use his flash, and the wave is going to start pushing into the side of Hard Hat Zone.
And do you think we see a tower dive from Abandon here onto the Bennett, who has no health left?
I would be hard pressed if he didn't. I think the only thing that might be stopping him right now is the fact that he's not 6 yet, but he does have his jungler support coming through. The dynamic camera doesn't want to let us see it because Ezreal Yuumi is just too entertaining down here, poking them down and having fun. But it looks like Yon is just going to walk away, so that's probably with it. The camera knew. The retail gods always know what's about to happen before it actually happens. So Yon is just going to walk away to safety. Plate's probably going to get picked up by Set, and we're going to see a bit more of this poke comp come through from the Yon and the Ezreal.
And it's interesting to note that in that fight, Volibear and Yon definitely had the itemization advantage, especially considering Berserker Greaves is the most gold efficient item in League of Legends at the moment mathematically. I mean, what doesn't mean all that much, but for them to be able to do that with pre-backed Graves and a Set sitting on Longsword Dagger, pretty impressive, and it makes me really worry for the side of Triple B Bennett when once this Set finally backs.
Absolutely. I think the matchup is a bit favored in the side of the Set, though, because Set is more of that known counter to the Yon and Yasuo brothers, right? A lot of times when people do pick out the Yasuo, the Set is one of their first picks if they can pick it up. As well as the Yon, while he does have the Berserker Grease, doesn't have too much on that early game damage. Scaling not really there yet for Yon, which he's known for. The showstopper came out, but Bennett just already backed up, so that's going to be a wasted ult for the side of Abandon. Unfortunately, likely would have picked up that kill there had that came through and connected.
Yeah, I think it was the pullback from Yon that stops that, right? That interaction there when he's flinging back to his if I'm correct, it's unstoppable when he's getting pulled back to his soul, right?
Oh yeah, yep. It's definitely he cannot be interrupted during that.
Just really good timing on the side of Bennett there. But it looks like Elysium's going to pick up the first dragon in the game, and obviously the greatest dragon in League of Legends, the Cloud Dragon.
Absolutely.
Right?
That means I would say so. I think the Cloud Soul is definitely what you want to do. As the chains come out from the bars, rooted up, down goes the Yuumi. Can't get onto the Ezreal, just in the wrong spot at the wrong time, knowing that they were there. The dragon, I'm unsure where the Yuumi was going, maybe to get the ward. But is going to get that kill for the side of, I believe, Graves actually got that kill from a distance.
I think that's really greedy, that play. Going for a control ward onto, from Yuumi when you know they're on Dragon. I mean, it's not the greediest control ward play I've seen in Titan. That one still goes to Volgai being 2-9 at Talon, trying to take a control ward. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But he invaded the enemy jungle while with no prio. But we're about to get a fight breaking out of this top lane here.
Oh yeah, both teams really know where this action was. You were absolutely right in your predictions earlier in terms of like what would be the lane to watch, and that's the lane that we have our eyes on right now is this top lane. Both junglers are going to walk away. I believe that they just both got spotted out and they know and realize that neither one was looking to fight right now.
I got a question for you. If that fight gets taken, whose side do you think it's on? Who's favored?
I think once again it's probably gonna go in the favor of the Set Graves. I'm gonna say that just because the Tabbies have been picked up. Tabbies are just a known counter to both being auto attack AD champions in that early game. Plus that face breaker, it's really just in the side of Set. If Graves is there to help back him up with all of their damage.
But a relentless volley bear, they don't know Reggie's there.
Absolutely. Now the ganks him in. The storm's going to come down, but nothing's going to happen. Abandon's probably just going to walk away. Oh no, the Weaver's wall comes through. Matthias, Showstopper is out. The ultimate from Volibear comes through. Down the Facebook, Antagonist gets low. And down goes Abandon to the Yon first. The Weaver's wall came through for the extra side of Hard Hat Zone to help take down the beast that is Abandon. Tabbies did not mean anything when you got the AP coming through from that Talia.
And I think that's going to be one of the biggest game changers on the side of Hard Hat. The fact that you have one of the least mobile...
All right, another one comes through. The ultimate comes through from Alec. The final chapter comes out, gonna stun them both up, but not much damage coming through again. The arrow flies and does hit Potato, but now they're just gonna be done. All the ultimates did come out there. The cleanse did have to get blown. Book of Eli is here for the dive, most likely. The ultimate comes out from the Book of Eli. The tank comes through. Alec is just on top, stunned up. Yumi with nowhere to go. But is she gonna live? The zoomies come through and Yumi picks off Book of Eli and almost Maokai too. Not the greatest dive we've seen, but the ADC does go down, so I don't know who wins that one there. What do you think? Who comes out on top? Book of Eli goes down, ADC All Out Potato goes down. Who actually wins that?
Man, that was a little bit of a misplay by my coach. He thought that Maokai was going to tank that tower shot, but it didn't go through. And I actually think that's really good for Hardhat there. You waste a lot of time coming bot. It's opening to Leah to come back top here. And they traded 1-for-1 with their support. Didn't even go to Varus or Victor. So, yeah, no, I think that's just really good for Hardhat there.
So the teleport from Eli is going to come out to prevent that 3-man top dive that was likely coming through on the side of Abandon. Talia just hovering in the shadows as well, knowing that the TV does come through. But again, and that shutdown and that dive in the bot lane, the shutdown went over to the Yumi, and I think that actually is going to mean a lot for the side of Hardhat Zone, just because Yumi is going to be the one buffing up a lot of these like champions. They're going to want the 1v1s, right? The Ezreal is going to be pretty much safer because of that. You're going to probably go on the Valley Brand, and Yona's going to speed them up. The root's going to come through here. And this bot lane, the final chapter comes out. Yumi hopping on, Zoomies all around. Maokai's ultimate out now. Rooted up is the Valley Baron. Both teams going to walk away unscathed.
That was interesting. We all seen the Ezreal ult get tossed through. It kind of swiped up. I believe it hit Maokai and Graves. But yeah, I think one of the biggest difference makers between the mid laners on each team is Victor will be more effective once we get into these team fights over objectives. But until then, Talia really has a lot of control, especially being able to do these 3v1 tower dives. Victor, notoriously a slow champion. So him spending all that time to walk, oh wow. For a failed tower dive is huge, and also top lane there. Man, that Yone getting the shutdown on set is something that I think Abandon's going to have to worry about.
Yeah, Yone is starting to come online. The CS difference is there, as well as 2 kills on the side of Bennett. Didn't look too hot in that early game, but now some of these items are starting to come through as not the first item, but likely going to be that the Bork's going to come through first for the side of Yone. He's almost there, but I mean, like you said, the Victor scaling is also pretty slow, and especially when you don't get those kills to kind of boost up those augmentations, you really are only going to sitting on that. He's probably only sitting on that death ray augmentation right now. He doesn't get that speed boost from his Q yet, and that and the gravity field isn't going to center that. So we're going to see them just trade the dragon here for this mid tower, most likely. The plates are still there, so they are going to get a little bit extra gold for that. But it looks like the side of Elysium is really valuing these dragons. So do you think that's the play here? Do you think they should be worrying about this mid tower a bit more than they are?
It will depend what soul comes up on the map. If we get a good soul for the side of them, it'll be huge, but it's looking like it's Ocean Soul. I don't think it's the worst, but I think if you're Elysium, you're definitely hoping for more of a, oh shit.
Yone is fake seal, almost with a flash from Abandon. Showstopper again, but misses. Yet again, this interaction is really just baiting Abandon into this ultimate every single time. But does get away with the flash. It does have to retreat to safety, but this lane is no longer going inside of the champion, the Conqueror champion that we were standing so much here. And
I think that's a huge thank you to Karn being so heavily involved in that lane. And once that Talia Weaver all got Yone the shutdown, he's just been huge since he has Bork. Massive counter to any tank champion. One of the strongest items in League right now. Oh, so, absolutely. Holy crap.
I wouldn't be surprised if Bork turns into a mythic next season.
I don't think it's going to, at least not from the patch notes we've seen so far. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised if we seen it at least get nerfed at some point, because it's been a Bork meta. Bork, Sunfire, and any champ. Actually, weirdest thing, Sunfire's going down from a mythic to a legendary.
I think that kind of makes sense. I think Sunfire, while a strong item, it's not exactly a. It doesn't reap Kraken Slayer. It doesn't make me think Luden's Echo. It doesn't make me think a lot of that. It kind of has like that passive that you have, that passive burn on it. I would say maybe the Chem tank is like the most interactive of those, but
which is also going down to a legendary.
It kind of makes sense. If you're going to take 2 down, you might as well take the other ones down. But it looks like both of these teams are jockeying around this Rift Herald. Set is going to go over to that bot lane, not having fun going up against this Yone, but Alec in the shadows with that Nature's Thrash is waiting to root up people. Both teams fighting for possession of this Rift. Who is going to get Shelly Sr. here? All right, the Weaver's Wall comes out. Looks like we're about to get a foul. There we go with the Volley Barrel ultimate. And down goes Book of Eli. That's going to be a lot of their control. That control mage going down. But it looks like they're just walking away here. They got the pick. It's a 4v3, and they're just not looking to take it anymore. All right, Hardhat Zone again here. Not too much in terms of fighting. It looks like Elysium's just going to walk away and give this. Maybe for the steal from Elysium here. But that just doesn't seem like a good idea when you got all those rocks in between you and the Rift. All right, the Rift is going to go over to the side of Hardhat Zone. The first objective for them, as they did not get any of those dragons right there.
Nope. So that's going to be the Shelly Sr. going to the side of Hardhat. They once again got the pick onto Book of Elysium. Not looking great for him, but it looks like they're trying to set up for some sort of fight in this top lane. But no, Yone's looking scary. Volley's also kind of looking scary this game at the moment. And Talia's played a huge part with those Weaver Walls. Really,
absolutely.
Really good at setting up these plays. That's twice now that she's absolutely caused a change in a fight because of her Weaver Wall.
Absolutely. That Weaver Wall is the reason that Book of Eli went down, and that's probably the biggest reason as to why that Rift did go over to the side of Hardhat Zone, because Eli was not able to get that ultimate, was not able to get that zone control for the side of Elysium. But I think they're going to be sitting kind of okay with that. They were starting to lose that top side of the map, even moving Set to the bot side there, which in my opinion was a pretty good call for them. As well as Yone still on that top side. We're not going to see too much action coming through as the next dragon a little bit of a ways away. Both teams just kind of farming up here.
Both teams are definitely kind of taking it a little bit slow. I imagine in a minute we may see a big fight break out over that Ocean Drake. If Elysium were to get it, they'd be on Soul Point. Now, although not necessarily the most ideal Drake for their comp, it is still pretty good for Set, Maokai, and it can even be decent on Graves. I mean, Graves is looking to go the more higher damage build there with the Eclipse Umbral Glaive, but still won't hurt him as we get later into this game, and it definitely will be nice on Maokai and Set once we get to the 30th minute mark, if they can pick it up, that is.
Absolutely, and as we start to see some of these items come through, right? As we start to see some of these items come through with these objectives, they're going to play a bigger role, right? But the thing is, right, it's so interesting how Mythics just aren't as strong as we thought, right? We've been talking about Mythics and how Sunfire is going down. You're looking at just the items right now, and you're seeing only about half of the players in this game have opted to rush a Mythic, right? You have the Bork on both multiple champions. You have that Essence Reaver on the Ezreal. You have that, why am I blanking on the
Leandres or Shido?
The lethality item on Graves.
Umbral Glaive?
Yeah, the Umbral Glaive, right? We're seeing a lot of these more utility-based items that provide either the lifesteal, or as we see Bennett in there taking a little bit of a chunk out of the Graves. It looks like Elysium still has a lot to do. The Fate Field's going to come out on the Graves, and but Showstopper's going to get Bennett out of there. Bennett is not where he wants to be. Final chapter comes out for Yuumi. Shutdown goes over to Victor, and Harmon Khan is here to play. The Gravity Field comes down, thumbs up 2. Reggie in the backline firing away. Eli is just chasing down Yuumi. Yuumi, can they get away? Zoomies. All Out Potato just stuck by themselves. 3 go down on the side of Hardhat Zone as the Dragon does go over to the side of Elysium.
What a fight that has just broken out in that river, and I think that is a game-changing fight for Elysium here. They pick up the Ocean Drake. Yone did everything he could to get them off of it, even burnt the smite before the Drake went down just to stay alive. And it's like Yone went in for a massive play, but his team just wasn't there to back him up. They were in the mid lane taking the T2 chart with that Herald, and now we're going to get Soul Point and a gold advantage on the side of Elysium.
Absolutely. That fight definitely did give Elysium, that momentum booster they were looking now sitting on Soul Point. They have a lot of options in terms of their next macro play. But again, I want to highlight just like two things that I saw in that fight. I saw one, Reggie did not die. That was the most impressive. That was impressive, but also just the teamwork between Reggie and Abandon now proving why he was able to kind of really help his team to that championship. And that Showstopper is really why Reggie didn't die. Showstopper is going to connect this time. That interaction did not happen again on Bennett, and he just kind of tossed Bennett right on up out of there. So Reggie was able to just kind of kite back and heal up and take that dragon. But again, just that jungle top synergy that we're seeing from both teams is pretty strong. It just happens to be that Reggie and Abandon were together for this fight, as in Harmon, Karn, and Bennett were a little bit split on that last one. That just as they were taking that mid tower.
Yes, they were. I think that is really rough if you're on the side of Hardhat, especially when you have these lanes matching champions. I think this is where it starts to get scary. If you're Hardhat, you're starting to get, you went from choking them out to one foul play, and that's the problem with playing comps that are very lane smashy. If the game gets turned around, it's hard to find a new opening back in.
Absolutely. I was gonna ask you about that as well, right? With these lane champions, right? Do you think that was the right play by Bennett? Do you think Bennett kind of contesting that dragon was the right play, or should maybe have joined his team in that mid lane, right? Maybe get that inhibitor tower as well, knowing that you have more of these like duelist 1v1 kind of champions, right? Outside of the Talia, you do have a little bit of control, but outside of that, you're kind of really looking for that split push. You're looking for those 1v2 skirmishes and not so much a team fight, because you're going into the Victor, you're going into the Maokai, you're going into the Varus with the Chains of Corruptions. They have so many utility team fighting tools. Do you feel as if Bennett made the right call there, actually contesting that dragon? Was that something that he had to do?
I think, in my overall opinion, as a jungler and the way I view the game, I do tend to place more value on objectives, especially when the other team's going to go on Soul Point. So I don't think it's necessarily the wrong call, but I think as a team, you need to decide, are we dropping it and going mid, or are we going to contest the dragon? I don't think it matters all that much which one you do, as long as you do one together.
Absolutely, and it looked like they were just definitely not on the same page as they were split before that fight. Even seeing as the Volibear came in afterwards. But it's all right. They don't have that dragon yet. The gold lead's not too separate right now. It is looking a little unfavored in terms of objectives, but like you said, it is that Ocean Drake. It's really only going to favor maybe the set and the Maokai that much. Maybe the Victor on the mana, but at this point, Victor doesn't really have those mana problems that we're talking about. However, both teams are evenly matched, right? You were talking about like this game one is going to set the tone for Conqueror, and I feel like both teams are really on par, and we're setting good pace for what's going to be an incredible season right now because of how evenly matched they are. I want to know, like, what does either team have to do here to really pull away, right? It doesn't seem like any team. You have six, even though they're down objectives, they have all 6 towers up on the side of Hardhat, right? But they're on. But we have Elysium that has this ocean soul, like just on the brink, on the cusp, right? What does either team have to do here to really pull away and show that they are the team that's going to win this game?
I think it really comes down to these two objectives here on the map. You have Baron up, which is really strong for Hardhat here, especially with how many towers they've taken. Getting Baron almost guarantees you an inhib and definite destruction and more map control. But as for Elysium, if they take this Ocean Drake, that means every fight they take, they just have the capacity to heal back to full during the fight if they're not able to take them down quick enough. So I think right now, as Hardhat, you have to contest this Drake. If they're able to take this Drake and then Baron, the game's heavily in their favor. However, as Elysium, if you secure this Drake, you really just have to defend the Baron push from Hardhat to win. So I think right now, this fight, whoever secures the Drake really kind of determines this game.
Absolutely. As we see the TP coming through for Bennett, I feel like both teams know that this is the Drake, but it's already getting melted by the side of Elysium. They're not there. The Nature Grass comes out. Final Chapter comes down. It's not going to connect. Harmon Karn does get stunned up and goes. The dragon goes down, but the Showstopper comes out. Fiber into the team. Yon is in the back line, chopping up Elysium. Akira has his tail. Reggie's in the front, going down. And neither team has a death, and all of that madness that just ensued. The dragon does go over in the Ocean Soul for the side of Elysium, but no one's going to go down on either team, regardless of how much DPS just came down.
Man, both teams beaten to a shred, but ultimately Elysium gets the Ocean Drake scot-free. They're out, they're clean. And
oh, Reggie's just not where he wants to be right now. The flash comes through for Bennett. He is mad. He is angry. He's like, you got the dragon, but I want vengeance right now.
And I spoke too soon. Reggie getting caught there, and that's going to open the door for Hardhat to get Baron and try to break a hole into this game. They need to do something now that Elysium has Ocean Soul. The gold difference is the same, but the stats they're getting from those 4 Drakes is what puts them ahead.
Absolutely. The only thing is that they've had the opportunity to back. The Volibear is going to come through. Fate is sealed, and down goes 3. Connects on 4. Harmon Khan does go down, so both ends is down, abandoning the back line. And Ben is just making a tear with the Yuumi on top. There we go. That's that hyper K that we're looking for. Those are those hands that we're talking about. The Fate Seal is going to connect, and now he's over to the Baron. Bennett putting the team on his back right now, saying, I don't care how many dragons you have, you're not going to heal through the damage that I have right now. An antagonist there to help out a little bit. Oh my god, Bennett is on a tear. Question mark.
And just like that, and just like Perry the Platypus, that team went undercover in the bush to assassinate the entirety of Elysium. Reggie might be greedy looking for the steal here. And he looks like he's
going to come out. He's getting chunked out, maybe just a little too early. Another Fate Seal is going to take down Reggie. You do have the Nature Scratch coming out, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Now that Ezreal is here, the Baron is going to go down over to the side of Hardhat Zone for their second objective of the game, but most likely the most important objective that they're going to pick up this game.
And when the ants go marching in one by one, they're sure to get picked off. He had no vision of the Baron, tried to slide in, respectable attempt, but ultimately they just threw 3k gold at Hardhat to take our money. We got our dragon, we're happy. And this is Hardhat's time to try to end the game. I think if Elysium survives this Baron push, the game's heavily in their favor. But right now, it is on Hardhat to close out the game, which is something they very well can do.
Absolutely. I think they definitely can do, and they do have that Volibear dive. Now, my question to you is, and I feel like it's a question that every team has to answer when they have the Yuumi on their team, is who does Yuumi go on right now, right? Right now, we're seeing Yuumi stick to all-out potato on this Ezreal. We're seeing Mabarbsi really being a loyal support here to the ADC here, but would you argue that maybe Harmon Khan or Yone in that bot lane would be a better person for the Yuumi, right? Yone is really with the gold lead and most of the gold on his team right now, sitting at 5-1, has 2 items completed, almost halfway there to that Bloodthirster. Who do you think the Yuumi really should be kind of focusing their attention on? Who do those Yuumi buffs go to in this time right now when they're sieging the Baron?
I do think it would be best if Yuumi goes on Yone, just because it's such a safe matchup. But I understand wanting to keep the 1-3-1 going. But you got Volibear going. I think honestly Ezreal and Yuumi should just follow to the bot lane, really keep that contested, and just you leave Talia top and it should be fine. I think Yone is just so strong right now, especially with the added stats from Yuumi and how hard he's carrying. He needs to be the one you're focused on keeping alive.
Absolutely, but we are going to see Harmon Khan with the Yuumi. The 1-3-1 is here. Victor having to match that Talia in the top lane, but having to back. Likely the top tower is going to go down pretty soon. They are coming through. Reggie's trying to take down Bennett, trying to get that 300 goal shut down, but Bennett said, all right, if you guys want to play, I'm ready to play. Let's go. We're ready to rumble. Reggie is going to come back maybe, but not much is going to go down as we see just one tower going down so far. Probably the second tower as well. I don't think this Baron is going to prove to be the end of the game, and I don't think that it's pulled enough of a lead. There is a 4K gold now as Bennett does take down Abandon in that 1v1, just slice and dice really quickly. No facebreaker, no haymaker, no showstopper for today right now. 4 in the top now. Reggie is going to have to answer that bot side as we see the siege in the top side coming through. The Nature's Grass is going to come out. The roof's going to come up onto the Ezreal. Down goes the Yuumi right away, so no more buff for them. They're going to have to walk away. Flash does come out for Harmon as the Victor ultimate almost takes him down. Another one. Bennett again will take on anyone that wants to challenge him. All right, and now he's going to back off as it looks like the Baron power play is over for the side of Hardhat Zone.
And that CC is just so strong against a Yuumi. That cat can't switch on to anyone without risking certain death. The only thing that I think worries me for Hardhat here, the fact that they got the Baron play, they might have the entire map control, but they weren't able to secure an inhib, which means if Elysium needs to push out these waves and get to that Elder Drake. Ultimately, do they have the advantage in the team fight? I think so, just because they have the Ocean Soul, and the gold gap isn't as far as you need it to be when Soul's been claimed. That being said, Bennett is scary, but Bennett in a position to get picked off right here.
Tries to face heal away, but he does get rooted up. Might have to take down Egg. Like, oh no, Bennett does not really want to be before this dragon. The two-shot barrage is not going to be enough. The shutdown is going to go over to Abandon. My name's Angel calling it in the Twitch chat, saying that Abandon is going to be just that difference maker. And now we'll really see as this Elder Drag is about to spawn in the next 10 seconds, and they are without their carry for another 40 seconds. It is not looking good for Hardhat Zone right now.
Right now, the question is, what do you do? It's Elder Drake, the most pivotal objective in League of Legends. If that is taken, 20% of your health bar, you can kiss goodbye. So, I think they're praying on Volibear. They can't contest the fight, so I think you just need to pray to God Volibear steals it. Otherwise, Elysium is going to be able to pick you off, and you have to hope that your tower advantage, the fact that they haven't gotten a tower this entire game, it means that they won't be able to end in time.
Volibear is going to ult in there with the... And blue team!
Oh my god!
With the steal, saving his team from the Elder Dragon woes, and now Rat-tat-tat, or the blasted in the back, all out potato, going to try to pick off somebody, but what a legendary steal from Haman Karn. Definitely saving the game a little bit for his team, because that would have been a 4 Dragon Stack Elder for the side of Elysium. Not today, baby.
Haman Khan keeping this game in contention for Hardhat. Elysium is quaking in their boots right now. You have a Yone who was up during that. Yone has the Elder Drake buff, I believe. That is terrifying.
Oh my god, absolutely. You got the Yone with the buff, and that on top of Yuumi is going to be absolute. Their fates are sealed if that ultimate connects on any of the members of Elysium for this next 2 minutes or so. But what a legendary steal from Haman Karn. I've only, Ford, if we can get comms at some point in here, I would love to hear the comms on the side of Hardhat Zone after that steal came through for Haman Karn, saving them likely in this first game. All right, so we got the Elder Dragon. This is another power play for the side of Hardhat Zone. The last power play they had, they got a couple of turrets. They got those inner turrets. What do you think happens with this Elder Dragon? Do you think they're going to be able to really set themselves apart now with this gold lead, with this Yone? You got Abandon in the bot lane pushing. Definitely does not want to see the Yone today. No matter how quick his hands are, no matter how strong his face breaker is, does not want to see that. What do you think the next objective is? Oh, maybe it's just the Baron here. All right, so we are going to see the Baron. Do you think that Elysium does contest this with the Elder Dragon?
I don't think you can. I really don't think you can contest something with Elder. The Elder Drake, I believe, still has a minute up with the buffs, and it's really going to come down to, can we survive long enough to get rid of that Elder? He's able to secure the Baron.
Reggie was there, but the Stormbreaker is going to go down. Face field again. Reggie's just not going to... There is no chance for Reggie on that one getting out. Every single ultimate coming through as Set does take down this bottom inhibitor. That's going to be a meager trade, but that's really all you can do when they have the Elder Dragon in their hands right there.
I think Abandon made the right call going for that inhib. Reggie going for the steal on Baron is important, but a little bit greedy, and now he's not going to be able to defend that top side from the push of Hardhat.
Absolutely, and Seth's not going to be able to back in time to help. The TP is going to come through, so we're likely looking at a team fight, and they don't even know it. Hardhat Zone doesn't know that they're getting collapsed on by 4 members. Change of Corruption going to come out, lands on the Talia. The Zanya's does come out, but the Nature's Grass comes out in the root. There's just too much CC for the side of Elysium. Another one. Oh no, Alex is too far. Eli, the gravity field's going to come down. Death Ray comes out, does connect on Bennett, but not going to be enough damage. As all our potato goes down to the Victor ultimate sets here now. Oh, but Haman Karn is back. He said, do not mess with my Bennett. All right, but Bennett is here, does have the Baron buff and the Yuumi buff. Reggie getting taken down and almost in 2 slicing dices. Oh my God, Bennett just one. All it takes is 1 sword connect for you with Bennett, and you're pretty much half health at this point.
That means Elysium, they're looking in a good position to survive this Baron push. They survived the Elder push, and they're still keeping their inhib up with that bot inhib down. They've played the defensive really well.
As it comes down, Bennett's gonna get chunked really low. The Immortal Shield buff is gonna proc, and down goes to the Facebreaker. Oh my God, Creatine takes down Yone with a shutdown. Reggie's is not where he wants to be with Haman Karn. Flash comes out for both junglers, and 1 for 1 there. We're gonna trade off. But that looks like it's going to be a victory for the side of Elysium in terms of defending that top lane inhib.
Yeah, that I think that's the one thing that's stressful about picking these early lane stomping teams is once you get into a 35-minute game, It is hard to siege, and it is hard to do team fights.
Absolutely.
Their team was built to stomp, and they did, but not hard enough for a 35-minute game yet. So I think now, what do? You probably look for the picks and then try to take team fights from there. You have to hope that the Elysium members aren't together all the time.
Absolutely. But if at any point you're in the same direction of the Varus and the Maokai, you can expect to not move for a solid 5 to 6 seconds with all the CC that both of those two combined. This duo bot in the bot lane for the side of Elysium really is just a 300 IQ draft play right there. Just the amount of CC and damage to come out from both of these champions. Now that they're ramped up, 3-item Varus is coming through. Just doesn't speak, even with the item advantage for the side of for All Out Potato, right? He does have an extra item. I just am not seeing the same amount of impact that's coming through for the side of Varus and Creatine there with this 3-item Varus here. Is Varus just this new champion that teams should be worried about, or is Creatine just like that, right? Is Creatine just been hitting the gym, lifting those weights, and putting in time on the Varus, right? What do you think? Is it Varus or is it Creatine?
I mean, Varus is a great champ, don't get me wrong. I think he has one of the stronger ultimates out of most ADCs in the game. But Dog has played this exceptionally well. He's been alive almost the entire game, and he's been able to pick up these kills to make his champion so strong in the game that, I mean, I think it's more be worried of Creatine than just Varus on his own.
Absolutely. I think it definitely is Creatine really just following this champion to perfection. Almost as the change of corruption does come down on Humankind, the final chapter is going to come down. Volibear Storm is going to come out, and again, the Weaver's Wall is here. Talia is here to play, but so is Bennett in the back line. Going to cash back, but not going to get much there. But Humankind is going to go down just as the Elder Baron, or Elder Dragon, is spawning for the side of Elysium. Again, just like we were talking about, the control over these objectives just in the side of Elysium as they're pop shy, but they really can't do much without their jungler here.
No, without their jungler, they lose out on the 900 damage smite, which is, looks like that means Elder's gonna be taken by Elysium, and once they take Elder...
Absolutely, and actually, the flash is gonna have to come out for the side of Makai. Roots up All Out Potato, and down goes All Out Potato to abandon. They are on the run. Talia is trying to kite to the best of their ability, but no, the showstopper is gonna come out, and this is what we're looking for, Angel. Abandon with the double kill, triple kill, actually, showing off why he was the Conqueror champion here. Reggie's doing a little bit more to take down this last member of Hard Hat Zone. Change of corruption comes out one more time. Bennett does not really want to go, but the hit, the fake seal. Does this turnaround happen? No, the Elder Dragon going to be too strong, but that was a valiant effort in the face of that Elder buff. Oh my God. Elysium out here just with that Elder just popped off.
And I think, you know, it's just, you can't have your jungler get picked before that Elder. I gotta say, Bennett has played this match to his hardest. The loss is not his fault at all. That man has played like hell. But Khan gonna try to make a valiant effort to keep the game alive. It's not gonna happen. And Elysium gonna pick up game 1 of this series with a nice scaling comp, good objective control. Bennett and his team tried to smash their lanes, but ultimately Bennett was really the only one who was able to get ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bennett did not have enough in his back pocket to keep his team's first game win alive.
got me leaning. You about to make a mistake. I'm so far gone, bad blood turned on. I burn to anyone in my way. I'm about to bury my hatchet, so pick up the flush in your casket. These chemicals give me bad reactions. Burn it down to the ashes. Fan the flame until it catches. Fire's rising in the blackness. Burn it down to the ashes. I'm here for the vengeance. Not here to behave. Get up in my business. I put you down in the grave. I'm so far gone, bad blood turned on. I burn to anyone in my way. I'm about to bury my hatchet, so pick up the flush in your casket. These chemicals give me bad reactions. Burn it down to the ashes. Fan the flame until it catches. Fire's rising in the blackness. Burn it down to the ashes. I feel the darkness calling me. I feel the darkness calling me. I feel the darkness calling me. I feel the darkness. Burn it down to the ashes. Fan the flame until it catches. Fire's rising in the blackness. Burn it down to the burn it down to the ashes. Fan the flame until it catches. Fire's rising in the blackness. Burn it down to the ashes.
Same mind, where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Same mind, where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Bloodshot. Oh, 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 oh. Bloodshot. Same mind, where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Same mind, where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Bloodshot. Bloodshot. Fire in your bloodshot eyes. Where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Where you going back tonight? I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Bloodshot. Bloodshot. I know where you're going back tonight. I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. I know where you're going back tonight. I saw a fire in your bloodshot eyes. Bloodshot. Bloodshot. Fire in your bloodshot eyes. Suck me in smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. It's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Let the darkness me in and let me go. Sink to your heart to find you. Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control.
I'm so tired, I can't eat. I'm so famished, I can't sleep. Cracks in the concrete, the towers before me, with voices distorted, they speak. So pretty big worlds for the meek. Help me, I'm weak. Take if you must, it's the word that I trust. Feel me real from the touch that I seek. But I don't need your faith to get me through. Candles burn dim in the house without sin. Ears all around, help me read it aloud. Watch the lights flicker out, flicker in. They told me to wait, it'll come. You'll know when it's done. Help me please, just decide if you see. Just decide if you see, if you see. Oh, but I don't need your faith to get me through. What has it ever done? What has it ever done? What has it ever done for you?
Welcome back, Titan fans. It's your boy Goose, joined by the legendary T. Wait, no, we are E. Eli Romeo here.
Yeah, Romeo, Elysium, Romeo, Max Myers, any of them work. We go by. We're the man of 1,000 names, man.
We are the man of 1,000 names. Romeo joining here on the caster desk with Goose as we get ready and geared up for game 2 of Elysium versus Hard Hat Zone. Elysium Rush to be exact versus Hard Hat Zone Triple B. And the last game getting taken away by Elysium with a lot of that objective control domination with the Victor the Graves. Although we did see a valiant performance coming out from the side of Hard Hat Zone and that top side for oh my God, how am I blanking on the name right now? That's all I was saying in the entire
Hard Hat Zone.
Oh, who was piloting on the Yone? Oh, Triple B Bennett.
Triple B Bennett, our boy.
On the Yone, really putting the team on his back, right? And we're gonna talk about this draft, but I want to pick your brain on this really quick. Before I would say like maybe like in the first couple of seasons, right up until about season 6, I think you could 100% solo carry games, right? You had like the Ribbons, you had like just champions just dominating games, and there's nothing you can do about it once they got online. Do you think that is the case? Do you think that it seemed like last game that Hard Hat Zone put all of their eggs into one basket, right? 45k damage, completely eclipsing everybody else in the game on both sides, coming out from Triple B Bennett, right? Definitely putting themselves up there in the stats, but not able to put himself in that win column for the side of Hard Hat Zone. Do you think it's possible for teams to really invest all of their eggs into only one lane and still come away with a game, right? Do you think that is a valiant strategy that can and will work in this league?
This is not solo queue, man. This isn't solo queue. You're not throwing Master Yi jungle, putting a Yuumi bot, Tarek top to funnel him. It's not going to work at the way you hope. Can someone solo carry if they get far enough ahead? Absolutely. But the odds of you putting all your resources into one lane and not having anything happen on the other side of the map, I doubt it. The only way I really see a real solo carry happening is if you pick like an Aatrox top and stomp the lane yourself or with the help of your jungler alone. I don't think... I think you do need to have an actual team comp around you to still be winning those fights. Like look at that. Yone was super far ahead with a Yuumi, and Chains of Corruption just shut him down because they had the CC on their side to win the team fights. So I don't think in a competitive league it's ever your best option to solely focus on one person.
Absolutely, and I think you said with the Yuumi, but I had some interesting feelings about who the Yuumi. I think we even talked about it in the last game, right? Who the Yuumi was really choosing to give those buffs, who the Yuumi was choosing to give the Zoomies to, in that game, right? And with that game plan likely going in that they were thinking we saw so much top lane presence from both junglers, but especially from Haman Karn helping out Bennett in that top lane, right? We knew from the first minute that was what their win con was, right? We knew from the first minute that was how they wanted to play. They wanted to play through Triple B Bennett, and it seemed like Mabarbsi on that Yuumi, it seemed like they were just a bit not on the same page, right? Kind of hanging out on the Ezreal, one of the safest ADCs, kind of hanging out on Haman Karn, which I think both of those make sense, right? Ezreal is going to get that pop shot damage in. Haman Karn is going to need that extra speed boost to actually get in there on the Volibear. We are going to see the Yone and the Volibear both getting away. Elysium not wanting to see those champions again, even though they did when it did cause them a little bit of a headache. But the Yuumi didn't really go to where their win con was in those later stages of the game, right? Yone had the Elder Dragon, had the Baron buff, right? I would have loved to see Yuumi on that bot side here, but that is neither here nor there because Elysium did come away with it. I think I may have lost the draft here, but I think 1 second. Let's see. There we go.
And right now, Renata picked up. It's going to be Misfortune Renata on the side of Elysium.
All right, so we are going to see the Misfortune, the Renata, and the Victor and the J4, right? We're seeing now maybe a switch from Hard Hat Zone, right? We did see kind of that lane domination that you were talking about, lane kingdom, in terms of winning, right? And now they're not going to be able to carry the Yone being banned away. We're seeing the J4 and the Victor instant switch from what they played last game. Do you think that this is a good switch? Do you think that this is the play style that they needed? I think you have a bit more of that experience watching them playing Gladiator. Does this fit kind of their play style? Can they pull off the team comp, or are they like more of this one-trick pony when it comes to the lane domination?
I think at the very least it's a change they have to make going from Gladiators to Conqueror. I'm surprised we haven't seen a split pusher in the top lane yet. I'm pretty sure they did used to have a split pusher in the top lane. I know Turnip said I'm pretty sure they did as well, if I'm right. So yeah, I think it's definitely a change that you can't be solely reliant on stomping every lane anymore when you're in Conqueror. And I think this change could be good. However, I see no damage on their team.
No damage for the
At least
side
not
of
early
Hardhead Zone
game.
right now. Is that what you're saying?
On hard hat, yeah. I like
Well, you
at
have
least
that J4 that is going to have that like early game pressure a little bit. He's not going to be the ultimate, like he's not going to be a Graves, right, with pulling out that kind of damage, but he is going to give you a little bit of that early game aggression known to like kind of gank. I kind of want to maybe even switch the focus because we've been talking about Hardhead Zone a little bit, and they actually didn't come away with the win. It was just so interesting their actual play style that they chose. But Elysium did come away with the win off the back of none other than the legendary. You may have lost him somewhere in those team fights with the showstoppers and the facebreakers, but Abandon coming through, ending that 9-5, not having the greatest time in lane except for those first couple of fights we saw, but then having a little bit of struggles midway through that game. But towards the end, really being lights out in that team fight, keeping Reggie alive in that crucial Elder Dragon Baron buff where Bennett was contesting, and those in the last moments of the game got the triple kill to really end that game from Abandon. And do you think I feel like you mentioned it in the first game, right? That top lane is going to be the lane to watch. We now are seeing this draft really pan out here. Do you think top lane will likely be the lane to watch again here? Or do you think there are some other more interesting champions that we should be looking for?
Looking at how it is at this moment, I think until we know what the bot lane is of Hard Hat, it's hard to say. And Amumu support's always going to be relatively aggressive, but if they pick a safer, more scaly ADC, then I'm not. I wouldn't say that. I would say it'd be top lane unless they're going to go for like a Samira here or something. Even a Kai'Sa, I think bot lane could be relatively aggressive if Amumu's landing his bandage tosses. Until we know what's top lane, it's hard to say whether that matchup is going to be the strongest. But judging by the fact that it's Abandon and Bennett, yeah, I think top lane's going to be the bloodiest.
It's not absolutely and right. I also I think we talk about the top lanes, but I feel like the top laners probably wouldn't be as interesting to watch if it wasn't for the rest of the team kind of coming there to also help out a little bit, right? We saw the Weaver's Walls going up to the top lane. We saw both junglers just pretty much lived on the top side, which is new for me to see. Usually it's an island up there, so it's interesting to see that so much priority going into that top lane from both teams. But just the IQ of like the protection of both top laners, right? Both teams were using time, resources, Victor TP to stop that three-man dive, Reggie just kind of hovering, knowing that Yone and Bali and Haman Karn were up there all the time, pretty much hanging out there. Pretty much you usually see like a bot lane fiesta, but really it was kind of that top lane fiasco that we saw throughout the game, as we are going to see that Aatrox get picked up for the side of Elysium. Is this the carry that we were looking for Elysium? Is this the carry for Abandon? Is he saying, all right, you had your fun on the Yone, it's now my time to show you what lane kingdom, lane domination, top gap, top die looks like?
Yeah, and Aatrox being the top laner with a Wukong, you know they're focusing top this game. It's gonna be ooh.
That's
I
interesting.
think
Okay.
that's a Lilia top, but however, I don't know how aggressive, because Lilia can really just play for the poke, go in, go out. So it's gonna be interesting to see. But Jarvan and Wukong, notoriously early game junglers. Aatrox an early game champ. Lilia is definitely scary if you can get ahead. I think there's no doubt in my mind. Wukong, well, you could play for the Misfortune, but I think until level 6, Wukong's going to be on that top side of the map, and I can only really see Jarvan sticking with it as well.
Absolutely. I think topside is definitely going to be the lane to watch one more time, just looking at these champions. However, we want to know your opinions on who will be the team to come away with the Game 2 dub. So make sure you get those predictions in. Make sure you get those channel points in. Who's going to walk away with this Game 2? Will Elysium take this clean sweep 2-0 to start off the season strong? Or will Hard Hat Zone come back to fight as the gladiators that they once were or now currently are? Will they conquer this first game or the second game of the league? Make sure you get those points in. I'm not even going to ask you, Romeo, really quick what your opinion is, because I think I might already have an idea of where we're going to go. But we're going to talk about that when we get on the Rift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the start of Game 2 of Elysium Rush versus Hard Hat Zone Triple B.
We are back here for game 2. Elysium up 1-0 going into this best of 3 series. Right now, both teams are on the rift. I'm gonna throw it to you, Goose. Who do you think wins and why?
I'm gonna have to go with the side of Elysium again. I think their comp just synergizes a little bit well. I think that Aatrox in the top lane is definitely just a champion to be feared, and I think Lilia is gonna have to play a little safe in this top lane. But I also think just like the wombo that they have on top of the scaling of the Corki is gonna really just round out and get them some of these early game objectives that is gonna lead into a little bit of that later stages of the game. I think there is a better draft in terms of being able to contest some of those early objectives and maybe not getting a 4-stack dragon for the side of Hard Hat Zone, but I also think that there just aren't many options for where Haman can go this game, right? I think it's almost like drastically, daringly obvious as you see this top side start for J4, right? That the bot side is going to be where he plays. And I really am going to be curious to know if Renata and Misfortune will be able to weather that storm of J4. And if they are, then I think a lot of this, like the first 15 minutes, is going to be really hard for Haman on that J4 and really hard for just Hard Hat Zone to find something and get themselves rolling.
Yeah, that's a fair point. My heart wants to say Elysium as well. However, I just think if J4 gets his bot lane ahead, I think Hard Hat has it. I think if Kai'Sa is able to get ahead, I think Kai'Sa and Mumu is a wickedly strong bot lane because of Mumu's passive. So I think if J4 is able to get them ahead, I think Elysium's screwed.
Can you explain a little bit of like how Amumu's passive and like how that like the synergy of the Kai'Sa Amumu kind of comes into play here in this bot lane, right? Going into I mean, there's not much in terms of CC keeping the Amumu off, the banish toss off. You do have that cleanse available for creatine, as well as the bailout coming from Renata. But what is the like kind of dynamic between these two bot lanes and the synergy and how this lane actually might play out? Because I'm starting to think that might be the lane to watch. I think Aatrox is going to do a poke as we're seeing here, but I think maybe with the attention of J4 already in this bot lane at 3 minutes, by the way, already here, ready to go. Yeah. But creatine is aware.
Well, I think what makes Kai'Sa Amumu is so good. It's just, first off, obviously the CC really helps with when Kai'Sa's, of course, using her killer instinct, but also almost all of her abilities have some sort of AP ratio, so that slight AP damage that she's able to use. I mean, I don't think she's going to be going AP Kai'Sa here by any means. However,
Volker Eli's in a little bit of a tough spot, but he does is gonna waddle away there. It's gonna fly away there, and not to safety under the tower from Haman Karn.
He just able to fly away so easily.
But yeah, you were saying like the AP ratio scalings on the Kai'Sa are gonna help out a little bit in this bot lane. Now, does that come in? Now, do you think All Out Potato has to build like the like we've seen the? It did get nerfed recently, or like not recently, a little bit a while ago. The AP Kai'Sa did get nerfed, as it's gonna connect the Renata pull. It's gonna connect and chunk down to half health just so quickly with just a pull and a pop shot from Misfortune. Misfortune really a dominant ADC right now. But do you think that the AP build for Kai'Sa is going to have to come out a little bit for that synergy to happen? Or does that happen naturally just by doing things like the
it happens naturally just straight up off the slight AP ratios, like just the base ones, because you're able to build the AD and like have the strong Kraken Slayer and that. However, because of the like built-in AP to her abilities, the true damage that comes out from each hit, like it's like having Kraken Slayer but on all your abilities, where you get the added true damage for everything you do. And also, later into the game, when they're team fighting and Victor's using that Death Ray or a Chaos Storm or anything like that, Amumu is also able to proc all of his abilities, and all of Lily's abilities for that matter. Which means Kai'Sa does need to still go AD just for the sake of she's really the only AD threat on their team, and you still want to make it so that they have to build some sort of armor.
Oh, absolutely, as they had to build some sort of armor. I don't know if you saw that play developing as you were talking about the ratios and the having an extra effect there on the Kai'Sa just from the Amumu alone, but just the IQ of these junglers, right? The IQ of Haman, the IQ of Reggie. It's kind of astounding, right? Reggie knowing that Haman was waiting in the alcove or somewhere in that area. Also, J4 really playing true to the strengths of the team, knowing that the bot side of the map is where they want to be, even with those top side cans up. Both junglers going down there to make sure that their laners are protected. If you are watching this game, this is the kind of jungling you need to be doing if you're on a team, right? You definitely want to make sure you're farming up, but having this laner first mentality is really what's going to help you carry, right? Because you are the playmaker, you are the one setting up the hoops, you are the Chris Ball, you're the LaMelo Ball, you're the Steve Nash that's going to be setting up your teammates with these hoops and these lanes. And that's exactly what Reggie and Hamankar are. Even though nothing happened, even though we're still sitting at 0-0, they were there ready to make sure that they were able to help protect, as Abandon is going to come out with the and down first blood over to Abandon with the ultimate, just getting level 6 slightly before Bennett, and that's that early lane kingdom that we were talking about, that lane domination.
And as he flashes the Mastery 7 onto Bennett's body.
World Ender, oh my god, who's actually going to sleep now? Not me, he says, as he does get that first blood going over and that early lead in the first little bit of action that we've had in this game here, which is actually surprising consider how aggressive both teams were in the early stages of the game last time.
Yeah, no, that's a big first blood onto Bandit, especially considering he's playing Aatrox. He needs to get ahead like that, and that was just really well played by him. He hit level 6 first, one of the major reasons he won there. But yeah, now he's gonna be able to pick up that serrated dirt and the Vampiric Scepter heading back to lane. I think he already had the serrated dirt, but he's able to pick up the Vampiric Scepter. He's gonna be a full component ahead of Lilia, which just makes fighting so much easier. But right here, they're able to chunk out the Amumu a bit, and it's looking a little bit rough for Hardhat's bot lane. Both of them are at half health.
Both are half health, but you do have a Mankarn down here. The Scuttle is going to get stolen away by Reggie with the Nimbus Strike, just popping up in there, quickly taking that last hit on young Scuds there. Definitely not having fun right now, Hardhat. So as you see, getting chunked again, All Out Potato taking the trade with Renata, but the shield is going to keep them at a nice little bit of health, and down goes All Out Potato a little bit, making it rain. But yeah, like you said, they're having a little bit of trouble, and like that's what we're talking about, right? And I think both teams know it, right? Elysium knows that if they don't get this bot lane online, then they're in pretty good standing, and as well as J4 knows that he needs to get his bot lane online. Every time you've seen J4 on the map this entire game, he's been bot side. His red buff is up. He's been bot side. The Rift Arrow's up. He's been bot side. Both camps are Golem and Chickens are up. He's been bot side. It doesn't matter. Like the bot side is where he wants to be, and Elysium also knows that. So does Reggie as he comes through. Cyclone comes out. All Out Potato not going to get away, and down goes with the big whack of the stick. Reggie's going to take the second kill of the game here. A bit more action in his mid lane, but it's not going to match. And it looks like there's just the bot lane that they needed to get ahead for Hardhat is just not happening right now.
That's not what you want to see if you're Hardhat there. Seeing on the bright side, oh wow, on the bright side for them, Misfortune didn't get the kill, or Misfortune didn't kill. So like Kai'Sa's still playable. You're still waiting on those evolves, but it is definitely getting a lot scarier. Wukong has a kill now. Aatrox has a kill now. That means top side of the map is really hard for Hardhat to fight. And as of the bottom side of the map, I mean, like Misfortune really, their bot lane didn't really get all that much. But the problem is now if Wukong's bot side and Jarvan's bot side, you have to argue that Elysium's a little bit stronger taking that 3v3.
Absolutely, and there are 4 members of Hardhat Zone coming up to the top side, as Lilia is likely going to get the sleep onto both members. The lullaby comes through, Bennett does go down, but both members are asleep. But Barpy doesn't have the sad mummy curse yet, but the death ray comes down, taking down Reggie. The World Ender comes out, but it's not going to be enough, and Mabarsi taking down that second skill for the 2-for-1 and this top side, the 4-man resurrection for the Hardhat Zone, finally getting themselves on the board here, likely moving over to the Rift Herald.
But Victor doesn't get any of the kills!
He doesn't get the kills, but to be fair, he doesn't need the kills, he just needs the actual takedown.
I believe kills give don't kills give double the points of a takedown?
I think so. I think so. It's technically at this point he has the equivalent of 1 kill, so he is going to get that first augment. That death ray augment is going to come through, and that's the big one that you want. That's going to be your money maker for him. It
is still really good, and it was really nicely played by them. It's unfortunate Lily died. It was a 2-for-1. With that many resources up there, you are really hoping to get the 2-for-0, but the 2-for-1's still nice. I think the problem, though, is if both kills would have went to Jarvan, I think that's still really good because Jarvan gets heavily ahead. If both those kills go to Victor, it's best case scenario. But the fact that it was split between Amumu Jarvan. You're two very like utility champions on your team. I mean,
but they are going to be a front line. They are going to be a front line. So like if they get like kind of beefcakey, they get tanky, right? You're going to have more time to actually do some of this but long-term damage, I think. Right?
I'm sorry, I need to say this. Jarvan, the entirety of Jarvan's early game gold has gone towards heal cut. That's a slower clear, man. You're still not doing damage in fights now, and you're supposed to be the one keeping your team alive in the early game. Which Kaisa needs her evolve. Victor needs his augments, and Lilia is getting smashed in the top lane. And you're gonna go for the heal cut?
Absolutely. Well, here I want to get your opinion on the other junglers items because I think that's interesting too. We have the double sheen for Reggie on the Wukong. What do you think that is this new meta? Am I missing something here? The double sheen proc? Do you get double procs here? Or is it? What are we doing here with these junglers?
Correct. I do believe Sheen is a unique passive, which means no, you don't get double procs. Oh wow, a good evade from Abandon there. We just sent 3 top again. But yeah, I don't think Sheen double procs.
I don't think Sheen double procs. I do want to give Harmon a little bit of a break because you do get a lot of other stats coming out for a very cheap price for that Kempfunk Chainsword. It has been a pretty popular build on like people like buy in terms of like rushing that, and then you go straight into like a Frostfire Gauntlet or something like that. So yeah. I think if I had to judge on who has the more questionable build out of the junglers, I'd probably go with the double sheen. But I think that's just I just don't know what it builds into, and that's probably. I think both
junglers are weird. I think both junglers are weird for this, man. I think after this is done, I'm gonna be DMing Reggie asking him why he's going double sheen. But also, like, I don't think you can go heal cut in the position. Like, I think the heal cut, the initial like chainsword was fine. But I think finishing the item off is a little bit strange. He's going for a very utility-oriented build when no one on his team is capable of doing anything just yet.
But I think it'll pay off. Well, let's even divert a little bit away from these jungle builds until we can see kind of what their mastermind brains are going, because I think they have been some of the playmakers in these games.
Absolutely.
And this, but we do have a bit of a low-scoring game here, right? It's been 15 minutes, only 5 kills on the board. Granted, the last game only had about 25 kills total. But we are going to see that first tower go down in the bot side, and that's not exactly what you want to see if your hard head zone, right? That was your win con. That was the lane that you really wanted to do. The Banish Toss is going to connect on Reggie, but the clone's going to come out not much, as this red buff might just get stolen away by Haman, Karn, and Co. Just 3 amigos just being rampant. Mandy, Mo, and Jack just in there, just causing a little bit of mischief in the jungle for the side of Elysium. Getting a little bit of payback for that stolen shuttle I see there, Haman.
Just a little bit.
Oh, the Flying Dragon next Cataclysm. Down goes Renata right away. Not going to be able to bail out anybody else. Reggie does clone over the wall. Eli's going to dash away as well. Just getting out of their antagonist with the ghost, but not going to get much more outside of that first kill. Now they're tied up 3-3. The gold is dead even. Yet again, I ask you, both teams neck and neck. Like, really
I think one thing we undervalued about Hardhat's comp is their ability to get these picks. You have the Bandit Shot, you have the I think it's Cataclysm. Is Jarvan's ult.
That's the Cataclysm as well.
And you're really able to get these picks if anyone on Elysium steps into position like we just seen. And I'm being told from chat here that apparently the Chemtech Chainsword is the most efficient Jarvan build in terms of the most cost-efficient Jarvan build. So
I think it's just a gold-efficient item because it's so cheap and it does give you quite a bit of AD.
And after the play I just seen, I mean, clearly it's working for him, right? Also, Victor picked up the kill there.
You know, it didn't work for him. The double sheen didn't work, so I think we're gonna have to give early game build over to Haman Karn, even though we were questioning that chain. So we're gonna have to give it over to him because that double sheen did go away for the side of Reggie here.
One thing we forgot to mention is that Elysium did pick up the Mountain Drake while there were resources expended in the top side. Not too much when it's just first Mountain Drake, but it is something that if they go for the dragon stacking again and maybe get that soul again, it could be dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. And we are about 40 seconds away from the next Drake. So we're going to see, as the tower is down on the bot side, Abandon really just having his way in the top lane, down in TS, but I think up in and just mental pressure for the side of that. I don't know if that actually plays into it, but I think it does have a little bit of a key when you're playing into the Aatrox. But Bennett is weathering the storm, definitely playing a different style of gameplay here. We're going to see both teams start to jockey around. Oh, we got a little bit of a death push going on for Hermankar. We're going to see what you were talking about, right? And again, you were saying, like, if you are getting called out by the side of hard hat zone here, you're not getting away, right? You have the Cataclysm, you have the Flag and Drag, you have the CC coming out from Antagonist, you have, and if you think you're getting away, guess what? Killer Instinct from Kai'Sa is coming right at you, right?
There is no it's like a horror movie, man. You go into the wrong basement room and
all right, we're coming in. Cataclysm's gonna come out. Lands on 2. The Sad Mummy down. TP is coming out. Down goes Reggie first. He's gonna be the first one. The hostile takeover is gonna have that backline going away, but All Out Potato's gonna take down Creatine, and that's gonna be 2 members down for the side of Elysium. As again, we're now seeing the team composition come through, proving that they can play the team fight composition, taking away the second drag of the game for the Hex Tech Drag.
And like I said, it's like a goddamn horror movie. You got Jarvan and Amumu sitting in that bush. You take the wrong step into the cellar for a second. There's no exit. You think there's an exit, but no, you're deleted too quickly. And just like that, you lose 2 members of your team. You lose the Ocean Drake there, and you give Hard Hat the lead.
Absolutely. Anytime, I think, like you said, is anytime that they can get that jump scare on the side of Elysium, I think it's guaranteed 1 member's going down, and after that, it's just a numbers advantage for the side of Hard Hat Zone. If they can get that Cataclysm to really just burst down one of those members, then Kai'Sa and Victor are going to clean up the rest of the crew. As Elysium does start to jockey around this Rift Herald, they're going to get spotted on the pink, but I think with J4 backing, they might just pick this up clean.
Yeah, I think the Herald's probably going to get taken by them. It's nice. I think it may be important for them to knock down that mid turret and really open it for them to get the either the Dragon Pit prior, considering they already have the bottom, the first tier T1 on the bot side taken down. But I think it also, you need to open up the map so that you can get vision and stop getting picked off. I think that is something that we really need to see from Elysium, because the more and more we're seeing these Jarvan and Amumu be able to stop one person out of position and cost them team fight, really the only counter to that is vision.
Absolutely, and you do see the vision coming through, right? You see pinks across the board here, mostly in that bot side there. But how do they go about getting vision whenever you go to get the vision, there's likely going to be a J4 and a Mumu waiting in a bush right there as soon as you go to ward, right? What can Elysium actually do a little bit differently here to maybe not get picked off as often as they are being so far, right? The last 3 or 4 kills coming through off the back of picks on that J4 and Mumu, right? How do you actually counter this with the composition that you have right now?
You implement the buddy system. Nobody goes alone. Because if one of you's caught in Cataclysm, you're dead. But if 2 or 3 of you were caught in...
Over the red buff, the gravity field comes down. Reggie gets the red, but Death dies right after the hailstone comes out. Oh no, it is down. There they go. 3 members over the red buff for the side of Elysium going down as the gold lead doesn't get that crazy, but definitely the momentum and the tempo as Hermankar's going to get spotted out on that ward. The battle's not over. Abandon is down here with the World Ender, but not going to pick up as the Flag and Drag gets J4 to safety, and now still all 5 members of Hard Hat Zone alive and well.
Yeah, and once again, I think once again, the major thing we keep seeing is Jarvan Amumu. The Jarvan Amumu CC is making this impossible to play for especially for Creatine. Like, you're watching your team get stuck. You threw out the ult there, but like, what is Misfortune ult going to do once 2 of your teammates are dead and you can't move?
Well, I think, yeah, absolutely. Misfortune doesn't really have much to do, and I think that's going to be off the back of people like Abandon and Reggie really setting them up. But you're not, all the Bandit shots does connect on Abandon, but he's a little bit too tanky for that. Right, but you want to be able to set up this hostile takeover and this Oh my God, how am I? The Misfortune Ultimate, right? You're gonna want to be able to set that up.
Bullet time. Bullet time.
The bullet time. You're gonna be able to set this up. But if Reggie is going into 3 members just for a red buff, right? 3 members visibly seen around that red buff. If Reggie is going in there, does get the smite, right? You're not gonna be in a position to really set up your team with that Cyclone, right? And that's gonna be your main goal. Cyclone isn't gonna proc the red buff. I know you want that gold, but that's just an interesting choice from Reggie. I think that's the most interesting choice I've seen from Reggie in the past like hour or so, or 2 hours that we've been watching him play. So I think maybe that's where they might be faulting a little bit in terms of not really setting up Renata or Misfortune, but they are still even. The gold soul's not too different. I want to talk about this support matchup, right? Amumu really kind of being a menace, like you're seeing like with the J4. Do you think the J4 is more of the like impact that's going to be happening, or do you think the Amumu at some point is really going to be the reason that if they do win, if they do pull this lead ahead, is it going to be off the back of the Amumu?
I think in terms of these picks, it's been more on the flag and drag. But once you get into a good team fight, a Curse of the Sad Mummy can change the direction of any fight taken. It literally lasts in the summer split. We've seen a Curse of a Sad Mummy stop 4 people from backing, which resulted in a split push ending the game and giving Abandon Abandon his championship alongside the rest of Hyperion. So, I mean, I think Amumu is one of those champions who has the potential to change the entire direction of a team fight solely off pressing that R button. That being said, in terms of the actual support matchup between Renata and Amumu, for me, it's just hard to see what Renata really brings. Like the W has been spent on people getting caught out, so nothing really happens with it. And her ultimate, I mean, who's really autoing on the side of Hard Hat?
Not many, as this drag fight is about to see the Inferno's down to half health. The Cyclone has to come out. It got stunned up. The Cyclone does come out. Sad Mummy is going to land on the support only. Shutdown going over for the side of his forcing 3 pick up the first kill. Triple Bennett takes down the jungler for Elysium, and the World Ender is just out. Bannon is ready to play, but the Killer Instinct on All Out Potato takes it. Triple kill goes over to the side of Eli, but it's not going to be enough as All Out Potato cleans it away and is going to go push with. Oh wait, no, it's going to have to answer this Riptail before going back to the Dragon, most likely.
And I think I'm hard fought to say who really won that team fight. Because, yeah, Hard Hat's the last one standing, and I think they have a much easier time winning it if that Curse the Sad Mummy is able to shut down the Misfortune ult. But considering it only really hit Renata, it didn't do a whole lot. And when you look at what team got more gold off that team fight, it was really Elysium claiming a lot of those bounties. They didn't get the dragon off it, but they got a T2 tower. So, I mean, Kai'Sa got a lot of the kills, though. So Kai'Sa Victor are really starting to become threats. A lot of the gold's on them. But we just seen Corki pick up 3 kills, 2 of which were bounties.
Absolutely. I was just going to mention, like, I feel like we can't fault the scaling that is the Corki, as the Nimbus Cloak is going to go onto the Amumu here. Looking like a Sad Money right over his tail between his legs, getting chunked down, gets pulled back by the Renata. It's going to be enough to take him down. The Cataclysm does come out, and down goes Reggie again. Aelec in the wrong spot, trying to bail themselves out, but not going to be enough. Does not get a kill to keep them alive. Corki just popping with the Missile Barrage, but the Storm is going to come out. He's ready to play antagonist here with the Victor, showing them how it's actually done. And that's going to be a 3-for-1 for the side of Hard Hat Zone.
And so many members of a Hard Hat there, escaping with 1 HP because of the damage of Corki. But the problem is, I mean, it just looks like they're running at them, right? Like, Reggie is just charging in, and he was only really able to connect with Amumu. I mean, he got a bit of Kai'Sa too, but Kai'Sa was able to get out of there, like her life depended on it.
This red buff is more contested than the actual dragons themselves. Red buff really being where all of the action is happening, as Abandon the World End is going to get popped. Lilia is running for dear life here, but going to be stuck between 3 members of Elysium, 4 or 5 members of Elysium. But it's going to be enough of a distraction for Hard Hat Zone to pick up the dragon in the side over there. A little bit of a shake and bake. Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. Let's see how it happens. The Speed Racer to Lilia is going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of a Ricky Racer there, but yeah, no, we really just kind of traded an Inferno Dragon for a red buff. A little weird, but they're gonna try to pick up Baron off the pick. If that happens, it is a really good trade. But until we see this Baron go down, and especially considering Hamenkom's deal on the Elder Drake, I mean, I don't really know if going for Baron here is the play.
Absolutely, and it's starting to feel as if red buff is Elysium's weakness. I feel like they put so much into defending this red buff, right? And even after they defended it, they didn't even take it. They put all of their resources into killing the Bennett around the red buff, and then didn't actually take the red buff before Reggie died after going and smiting in that red buff, instantly losing it. And it's starting to feel as if that is if I'm playing Elysium in future weeks, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try to take Reggie's red buff as much as I can because it feels personal at this point. It feels like their entire team does not want to go over that red buff. What do you think? Do you think red buff is a kryptonite here, or do you think it's or do you think that they're gonna learn to like maybe that's not as important of an objective right now?
I'm just saying, is it Reggie or Reggie, man? Because like, yeah, it's just red buff galore. See, this is why I cast for Conqueror. You guys laugh at my shit puns. I was casting in Gladiator, silence. But no, I think yeah, no, I agree with you, man. They're spending a lot of resources on the red buff, and even after they had it saved, they were very focused on picking up the 1 and 4 Lilia. So I think it's just a matter of getting your priorities straight. And speaking of priorities, I think they're just sneaking the Baron.
Yeah, the Baron's gonna get burned down really quick. Now that these champions are online for the side of Firehead Zone, they are really just taking these objectives pretty cleanly. They do have the 2 dragons now. They've killed Reggie for every objective, and now they have this Baron ready to push and take down some of these towers. We do have Aatrox in the bot lane, but we have this Baron power play. About how much do you think you can actually get done with this Baron at 26 minutes into the game?
Definitely quite a bit. If you're able to push effectively with it. Right now, the only main problems they're having is both the side lanes are getting pushed in by minions. You see Lily's clearing the bot side, and if they're able to push 2 or 3 of these lanes in at once, they're definitely going to take at least a couple T2s. I definitely see that the T1 on the bot side of the map is going to go down and really break open the map, which means a lot more map control for Hardhat, which I think is what they need.
Absolutely, a bit more of that map control, but you're going to be able to get that with the Baron, right? You're going to be able to start to get some of these like free tower gold. You're going to be able to get that bot side tower, which is free gold. Lilia probably going to push in that second tower and get that most likely as well, unless they actually answer that as well. What we haven't seen, I think, though, is I think we need to see a little bit more out of the Book of Eli here. I think on the Scorky, now that we're getting to the later stages of the game, that's really going to be, I think, the person that's going to keep their team in this dream of this game 2 sweep for Elysium alive is going to be the scaling, right? That special delivery, all that stuff is going to be really on the back of Book of Eli. So I'm interested to see what he'll be able to do with these packages here, if he can get that as well. But we are going to see this tower come through. Reggie is going to come through. Cyclone comes out for Reggie, but Lilia just too speedy out here. All right, definitely Speed Racer looking like the number 22 car out here. Okay, oh, but Haman car is here. Reggie not where they want to be again. Down goes Reggie, just not having fun into this J4, getting locked down by that. Is that a mummy in the bot lane? Is where?
Yeah, it is a mummy in the bot lane, and both the T2 mid and T2 bot towers have fallen here. They're getting pushed into their T3s, and they might even be able to secure an inhib if everything goes right for Hardhat. The construction crew is in, and they are demolishing everything in their sight. Another tower falls.
Another one falls, and here goes the inhib. It looks like they might have to like actually start this fight or contest some of this. They look like they're just gonna give it up. Knowing that they are just behind in gold, behind in kills, behind in momentum, not trying to throw away any more as pings are coming out for the dragon. Right, 45 seconds onto this dragon. Gonna put them at soul point at the side of Hardhat Zone, but definitely gonna maybe get some momentum back if Elysium can get this. Do you think we see another fight for this dragon? Do you think maybe we get one of those legendaries, another steal? Only maybe this side flip, maybe Reggie comes in as the hero play, right? What do you think we see around this dragon fight here?
It looks like they're posturing to set it up. The only problem is their bot lane, that next wave coming in, is a super minion. So they have to take this fight fast if they're going to take it so that their bot side doesn't get pushed into their actual Nexus tower. I think you definitely see a fight here. You don't want to drop it at soul point, though, especially with it being Inferno Dragon. That dragon is huge for Kaisa Victor.
Absolutely. Corky is sitting on that package, that special delivery. Just waiting to break that out. I think the dragon's going to get set up by Reggie right away, but it's going to get spotted out by Mumu. A little bit of poke coming down, but it looks like Reggie's split from the team yet again, just not where he wants to be. The rest of the team now bursting through them. That Shurima shuffle coming, or the Shurimas. Shirelia is going to come out for Renata as well. The Dragon's getting chunked down now at half out. The Reggie just frontline and kicking all of this Victor damage. Cyclone comes down. Catches the side. Mummy's going to land on 3. Cataclysm's going to land on 3 as well. Bullet time is coming down. Down goes double kill over for the side of Victor. Killer Instinct comes out, all Potato takes down Abandon, and Eli is on the run, running from Bennett, but can't get away from Mach 5 Speed Racer over here. And down they go, looking to end the game. Forget the Dragon, we want the Nexus, as Hardhead Zone cleanly aces them and likely takes game 2.
Yeah, I think right here, the timers are too high at this point. That Nexus is going to fall. A beautiful, what I was talking about all game. The right Curse the Sad Mummy's going to win you a team fight. And right there, 4 of them caught in it. Corky caught on the other side of the team fight because of it. Just absolutely amazing on the side of Amumu there. And the Cataclysm also really blocked everyone. It did harm his team a bit because of the bullet time. But at the end of the day, you're another day older. And at the end of the day, we're having a 1-1 series. This is going to go to game 3.
Let's go. We're going to game 3 for the first series of the Conqueror Fall split, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. You called it, Romeo. You said that this was going to set the pace and the tone for for Conqueror, and that's exactly what these two teams are going neck and neck, not giving an inch. And if they do give an inch, they're taking a mile. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for game 3 to decide who takes this first series of the Conqueror Fall split between Elysium Rush and Hardhead Zone Triple B.
I'm alone, only know myself no more. Take it to the grave, I'll ghost. I know I can be so cold. In the dark, where I like to keep my heart. No more bite, no bark. Like to catch you way off guard. I'll stay so deep inside your brain and take you somewhere far away. Time to roll the dice, you know I'm the type to risk my life, not afraid to die. Type to make you cry, type to put a price all up on your head. Do just what I said. I'm a straight up villain, yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Straight up villain, yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. I'm alive, but I'm dead. Hear my voice up in your head. Watch it fill you full of dread till you go. Is it really a surprise if I'm playing with your mind and I treat you like a prize, then I throw you to the side? And am I really that bad if I love to make you mad and get happy when you're sad? Only care about a bad and control. That's how I like it, and I'm never letting go. Nah, never had a soul, so you ain't taking nothing from me when you go. Nah, I'll stay so deep inside your brain and take you somewhere far away. Time to roll the dice, you know I'm the type to risk my life, not afraid to die. Type to make you cry, type to put a price all up on your head. Do just what I said. I'm a straight up villain, yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Straight up villain, yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. But I'm till you go. Bang, bang, you can do anything. No fear, no pain. Listen to your brain go. Go stupid, go dumb, go stupid, and then we go insane. Whoa. Just do what I say, follow me, I like the way. Time to roll the dice, you know I'm the type. Type to risk my life, not afraid to die. Type to make you cry, type to put a price all up on your head. Do just what I said. I'm straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Straight up villain, straight up villain. Yeah, no feeling, yeah, no feeling. Life, but I'm dead, my voice up in your head. Watch it fill you full of dread till you go. Coming at you live, real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, 'cause that's what the baddest do. Never going back, nah, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, 'cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, 'cause that's what the baddest do.
I'll melt your face off, disappear, I'm your eraser. Aim the cut just like a razor. Murder in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me, I got all the lines on ring. Knocking dead, turning heads, I got all the eyes on me. Baby face, cut out to the rock. 유행 선두자, 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You like roll, 할리 유도 gold. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 말할래, 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐, 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss, 간지 with the sauce. 원하면 줄게.
I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해, 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. Coming at you live, real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, 'cause that's what the baddest do. Never going back, nah, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, 'cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, 'cause that's what the baddest do. It's crazy. Sorry for the bad news, sorry I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, no it makes you sad. There for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags.
Without a look, should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. When you see me coming, get out of the way. Back in the sleigh, back in the sleigh. Back and I'm better and ready to stay.
I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해, 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. It's crazy.
Sorry, not sorry for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 해. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex.
In this gothic underground city, we all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The king's king. Break your nexus and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
This might kick your butt, go run them up, then paint my nails. Never learned to raise my hand, was too busy raising hell. Everything I know I am, you should go and save yourself. Thought you had my number, huh? Congratulations, played yourself.
Underground utopia, dynasties and dystopia. Fear is never an option, so time is not a real phobia. I'm beating the odds, rising to every occasion that's ever defeated the gods. Switch up the mind, nothing but champions coming, I'm rolling up one of those squad.
Hold still, boy, like back then. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
Pressure's rising fast as lightning, they can't stop it now. If you ain't talking realness, then just change the topic now. They laughing at the top like they can't see the bottom. And they thought I needed help, but I got here without them. I am sharper than a pack of 100 razor blades. When the smoke clears out of here, but they name gon' fade. I'ma be here doing it my way. They said I should change it up, but what did I say?
Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining. Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up white diamonds. Throw me in the sky, you would swear the sun shining.
Hold still, boy, like back then. Talk back till I snap back. This ain't brown, this that dark black. This that pitch black, jet black. Snap your ex, watch me give them flashbacks.
I get that magic all on me, I feel like I'm Tracy McGrady. Enemy circle around me 360, I count them with 8. I've been equipped with the spirit beside me since I was a baby. It's getting chaotic, I made me a product for causing the chaos right here when they run this gothic underground city. We all sin. If I bring a couple rounds with me, then we all win. I came back and brought the crown with me. The king's king. Break your nexus and your neck, cause everybody's on your head.
Ooh, yeah, he mad, I'm racking up
hear my plea to the fallen, leave me to be with the broken one last time before I go. Hold the last burning ember, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the glory and the fall. For the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. May we rise up to the call for the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. For the glory and the For the beat and the broken, for the lost and forsaken, let us never surrender. Now we rise unto the call. For the glory and the fall.
I love to do just what I want, do it when
Welcome back to this game 3 of an epic best of 3 series to the start of the Titanfall Conqueror split between Hard Hat Zone Triple B and Elysium Rush, going back and forth with Elysium taking game 1 off the back of some excellent team compositional play, and then Hard Hat Zone coming back, stomping their way through, and that game 2, getting the Dragons, making Reggie fight over that red buff a bit too much, and coming back to get it in the 1-1 series. I'm Goose, joined by Romeo, and we are here for the third game of this series. Romeo, what do you want to see in the last match of the night?
Caster who doesn't have his favorite airhead flavor as mystery. But aside from that, I want to see a bloodbath, man. I always want to see a bloodbath. I love seeing bloodbaths, and I think I am a little bit scared though, because it's proved that both team fight oriented comps have worked beneficially in both these teams' favors. I think the Victor mid is going to be a priority for both Book of Eli and say his name for me.
For one more time?
Victor on Hard Hat.
Ooh, that's
the man, the myth, the legend. Yeah.
Yep. BB Triple B antagonist on the Victor, definitely. Victor has been traded from both sides here as well. Do you think that we see another Victor pick? And
I think either you ban Victor or you take Victor as soon as you can. I think Victor's been huge for both these teams. Especially like just the amount of AP damage he's been doing with how long these games have been going. I think it's been really, really strong.
Absolutely. I think like you said, like just some sort of control mage in that mid lane has been kind of the winning. The Corki not really doing too much in that game. And then prior, I'm not even sure as probably as how irrelevant their mid laner was when they were on the Victor. Oh no, the Talia actually did do some damage helping out that top side of the map. Not enough to get the win, but definitely
there was only one big play that really happened from her in terms of the top side of the map. And Victor, like, you need to do a lot. The only way you counter Victor is A, jungle pressure, or B, making plays on the other sides of the map.
Well, there is one more way to counter Victor.
Ban him?
And that's just to take him out of the game all completely. Going to get banned away with the last round, the last ban of the first round of bans here. As we are seeing the Maokai, the Virus, and the J4, all champions being that we saw played earlier, getting taken away. They do not want to see that CC lockdown, that Chains of Corruption into the Nature's Grass combination that we saw. That J4 also proving to be a menace with the Cataclysms. They do not want to see that. And a lot of the champions that are just coming up in this match, right, as these teams are evolving, learning, improving their draft, the bans are changing with what is kind of shown a lot of presence. They do not want to give them that freebie again, right? The Amumu, the Victor getting banned away. That last champion I can't actually see because my mute is blocking it, but it looks like it's going to be the Fiddlesticks getting banned away as well, which we haven't seen on the Rift, but it must be a strong champion for one of these players here. We're going to see the Misfortune and the Kaisa Nautilus coming out. Now, we see the Amumu got banned away. We saw how powerful the Kaisa Amumu was in that last game. Romeo, you were talking about that quite a bit. Is this lane Kaisa Nautilus just as powerful, right? Does it take a little bit of a sting off not having that team fight ultimate, or are we going to see just as much of an impact going from Elysium on this Nautilus here?
I'm a big fanboy for the Sad Mummy. I'm not going to lie to you because of his group-oriented ult. But I think you have Nautilus and Leona. I think both supports this game are very equally matched when it comes to their abilities on the thing. But I do think Misfortune Leona has better synergy than Nautilus Kaisa overall.
Absolutely. I think so I think in terms of like just the bot lanes alone, right, where it seems like we're favored inside of the Misfortune Leona, which I do think is an upgrade from the Misfortune Renata, right? I think one of the problems that we saw coming out from Elysium in that last game as they played the Misfortune Renata was that the Renata didn't have the CC to really lock down enough people to get that bullet time, get that full effect from this Misfortune ultimate, right? You didn't see too many plays where Misfortune really maybe got one or two people in that ultimate, but because the hostile takeover really didn't see used effectively, or like there wasn't many opportunities, right? You now have this solo player, this grand stun slow for the side of Hard Hat Zone here. I think as we see the Yone coming back, Triple B Bennett on that Yone, most likely. Let's go. We're definitely going to see some chaos in that top side. But like you were saying, right, that Misfortune synergy is coming through. Now we're seeing the Yone come out, right? and we're getting excited, right? We're thinking about that bloodbath. And you're seeing the Trundle. How do they match it this time? Do you think they pick up that set again? Do you think that the Trundle is the actual match for the Yone? Like, how does Elysium match this Yone that put on so much pressure in game 1?
Oh, I think Trundle beats Yone 100%. I think I've played the Trundle Yone matchup personally a lot of the time, and although it does come close, I think the only way Yone beats Trundle is off early jungle pressure and getting the early first kill on him. Otherwise, Trundle beats him pre-level 6, Trundle beats him post-level 6. Trundle really 1v1s anyone in the game anytime he wants. I think the Trundle was initially going to be a flex pick, but I think when you see the Yone get drawn, I think you can play Trundle in the Yone. Unless they send Yone mid, of course.
I think they're banking on that Trundle being in the jungle as the Riven is going to get banned away again. DC abandoned, not ever getting that Riven in the top side. As they said, the Trundle is a flex. But like you said, right, you said that the Yone only wins if he does get that early game jungle pressure, and that has been something that was known for them to do, right? Reggie pretty much lived in the top side of the map for the first 10 to 12 minutes when he picked that Yone. So do you think that if we see that again, do you think we're going to see another big pop-off performance? Even though they didn't get the win, I think it's still give credit to Bennett where credit is due, right? Bennett did actually pop off in that game. Do you think we see another pop-off performance from the Yone, regardless of who the matchup is?
Sorry, just ask that again.
Do you think we see another pop-off performance from the Yone like we saw in game 1, right? They didn't get the win, but he did walk away with like almost 50k damage, eclipsing, pretty much doing enough damage that to do both of the carries from Elysium in that last game. Do you think we get another pop-off performance from Hard Hat's own Triple B Bennett?
I think there's the potential for it, but I don't think if he pops off, it's coming from laning phase. If Trundle is the top laner, I don't think that's going to be the case. Again, I do think it depends where you send Trundle, but if it's Trundle versus Yone, I don't think Yone's going to have the pop-off in the lane. It'd be more in the team fights. I'd be expecting him to ultimately pop off.
Okay, so more on those team fights, maybe sealing a few fates, landing a multiple man stun, damage, blink, all in one that he has there. Yone, definitely a balanced champion. So that Trundle likely is going to be the flex pick, right? We're going to see the Gragas come out, likely going to go on that top side, where Gragas is like the only role that Gragas is now kind of okay, and he does play support in like some matchups.
I see him mid quite a bit still.
Really? You do?
I've seen him mid in an earlier solo duel game I played this week, so, and it wasn't bad at all.
All right, so maybe that is that mid pick. But we are seeing just a lot of big beefcakes on the side of Elysium coming out, right? Only really Kai'Sa coming through with a lot of that burst or that damage potential. And do you think that like maybe that's like a viable like kind of route to go? And even more, right? Picking up that Galio to round out. We have pretty much just 4 big old front lines and a Kai'Sa, right? So you got the Killer Instinct and then a bunch of like just like whack 'em, rock 'em, sock 'em robots coming at you. If you're the side of Hard Hat Zone, like what are you thinking, right? How do you peel through it? You do have a lot of tools, right? You have Misfortune, you have the Cassiopeia, you have the Diana, right? Looking.
Discord? Am I? Yo, Phil. All right, guys. Well, because his favorite flavor of Airheads happens to be mystery, he's getting taken down by the Russian government. Anyways, as he was saying, you're going to have the Galio mid, Gragas top, Trundle jungle. I don't really think we're going to see the Gragas jungle, which I actually think is a pretty rough matchup for Trundle. It's Diana. His reduction in AD's not going to do a whole lot to him. The mid matchup, I don't think we're going to be seeing too much. It's Cassiopeia versus Galio. Galio obviously is going to have the advantage of the roams, but Cassiopeia is probably going to have the overall advantage inside of the actual mid fight. In the top lane, we're going to see Yone versus Gragas. I think that gives Yone a bit more potential to pop off. I think that's a little bit of a harder matchup for Gragas, but if we see Gragas get ahead and shut down the Yone, it will be really big for Elysium. And in the bot lane, Misfortune Leon is a deadly combo. If Kai'Sa is able to get ahead, they'll be really big for them. But until that happens, I think Elysium is mostly playing for scaling in their Kai'Sa this match and hopefully winning those team fights. Otherwise, I think Hard Hat has, once again, kind of a more let's win our lanes style of gameplay going into this. Not to say that their team fight's bad by any means. Their team comp is looking quite delicious. But I think we're going to cut the break here, and we'll see you guys on the Rift. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Just off camera, Cassiopeia and Nautilus. We tried to get a flash hook. Didn't work out, but he burnt the flash from Cassiopeia, which, let's be real, I think that's a bigger burn. Elysium so far starting the game off strong. But ultimately, I'm going to say that Hardhat won the draft overall here, I think. Especially if this Misfortune or Yawn gets ahead.
Absolutely. Hardhat's own. I think I have to agree, right? I think that just the fact that they have damage on their team definitely kind of puts them in that placement. I think it is going to be hard to tear through all of these beefcakes that we have on the side of Elysium, so I think that you do have that coming for you. So I think if there is any kind of lead to be had, it's going to be really apparent in terms of like it's going to be damage versus meat shields, and whoever is, it's going to be stat checking at this point. It's going to be a lot of stat checking, a lot of like mechanical outplays are going to have to happen on the side of Hardhat zone in order to get them away. But like you saw, like the flash already came out for Elysium and Cassiopeia antagonists. Not going to have that in the early game, so that's going to maybe play a big role in terms of who gets the early game lead in this priority in this early game. Like the Galio has the CC to lock them down, as well as the Trundle Pillar really cutting off any kind of outward paths and a gank. So I think we're definitely going to see a lot of priority around that jungle Cassiopeia attack. It's going to have to play a bit safe. Does have the ghost still, but it's definitely still going to play a bit cautious in these early levels here.
Yeah, I think that's just as correct as you can say it. I got a question for you. If you have to predict the outcome of each lanes, what do you think it would be?
I think I'd probably say Elysium wins mid and bot. I think top, I'm not 100% sure. I think that is going to be the most skill matchups, right? I think it matters, depends on like whether the body slam comes out at the right time for Abandon, and it's going to be, and definitely came out at the right time there for that quick trade for Gragas. But I think also it's if Yone can kind of like chop him up and get on some quick trades without the heal of the cast coming through. Then that's gonna. So that's where I don't know. I think both lanes kind of go in favor of Elysium as the dredge line's gonna connect on Haman Khan. The Pillar's gonna come out. Miasma does go down, so Reggie has a flash out. Flash again coming out for Haman Khan, and nothing's gonna come there except for a couple of summon spells thrown there. What do you think though? Who do you think wins this top lane? Right? How does this top lane play out again? Like where I think a lot of the camera's gonna be directed, right? Just based on the aggression of both of these champions. Who do you think has that skill expression here?
I think it's definitely, I think if Yone plays it right, like perfectly, he has the advantage, but also, I think Abandon is so skillful on so many champs, and his wave management skills are really on point, so I think if he's able to survive any jungle pressure we see from Diana, depending where she focuses, I actually, my gut feeling telling me Abandon's winning this lane. I don't know what it is, my gut feeling saying that we're gonna have Misfortune and Hardhat win bot side, but I think Abandon. I don't know, something about Abandon. I think he's gonna win top. Maybe it's just because he's a champion.
Well, Abandon does also have the fact that Diana's not gonna provide too much pressure early because they just get that blue buff taken away after having to blow the flash. So Diana's gonna have a bit lesser of an impact in this early first couple of minutes here, I think. Right, because you just don't have the pressure. You're already down a little bit of gold in terms of like farming your kind of tempo. Trundle already has gotten time to back up, now going towards the spot side here. Likely gonna get, we're seeing the pings come out, right? Likely the, will the dredge line connect? Does connect on the Leona here, making it rain to slow them down. The pillar comes out, a little bit of the Void Seeker's gonna land and just gonna get a little bit of chunk down to Leona on half health. But he stands corrected. The flash is gonna come up for Abandon with no mana. He's gonna get away from the Diana gank there. But yeah, I think, okay, so I guess you got a point, right? If Diana can have that pressure like you were saying, and definitely it's there, they will have that impact there.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm choking on face paint right now.
What did I tell you about buying face paint from Walmart, dog?
Yeah, it was a mistake. I stuck my tongue out and I tasted some of it. I tasted that like Leona tasted the dread line, okay? It wasn't great. But Diana applying some pressure mid here on Book of Eli, but I mean, I don't think applying pressure on the Galio is going to do all that much. You got a nice little invade though. Stole some Raptors. First Drake is Ocean Drake. What do you think that means here?
I think if I'm Elysium, I'm 100% looking to get Ocean Drake just because I want to be able to heal up all of my health, because a lot of these champions are going to build a lot of this or maybe not build it, but they're gonna get that health stacking with the Nautilus. They just have tanks, right? The Ocean Drake is gonna do them pretty well. And they're not gonna have mana. Elon's gonna run out of mana. He's not gonna build a lot of mana items most likely. You are seeing the tier coming out for Gragas early, but other than that, like I think a lot of these champions are gonna have some mana dependency. So the Ocean Drake's really gonna come well, as well as just having pressure, right? The scaling side of Hardhead here is like not too great. I mean, our Hardhead is like what they want. So like they need to get these early game objectives in my opinion. And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? We're seeing the pressure coming out from Reggie, a whole different early game than what we saw last time right now. Reggie having the tempo, having the pressure. Do you think, we were talking about a little bit, right, as this Dragon's like going to pick up uncontested, we're talking a little bit about just the decisions that Reggie's been making last game. Do you think that Reggie has had time to like, maybe even a little bit of Tilda, so we with the explosive cast going to get him to save there. But do you think that Reggie has time to like regroup and maybe like reconfigure himself? Because it looked like he was kind of off that last game. Do you think we see a different jungler this game based on what we're seeing right now?
I think Reggie is a player who feels like he needs to be pivotal when it comes to the jungle. You know what I mean? Like you have like personally, when I jungle, I'm a very team-oriented jungler. I'm focused a lot on getting my laners ahead versus myself. I think Reggie, it's kind of the reverse. He's more of like, I'm going to get ahead and keep this game alive until my laners are able to get ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where like, he's going to get ahead early and be able to do everything in his power to either end the game or keep his team alive. And I think him switching over, like Wukong's good for that. Trundle's great at that. So I don't think we're necessarily going to see a different style, as well, more as we're going to see a champion who just fits the style better.
Yeah, okay. So I think he's just on a better champion right now.
Also, just to make a point real quick, I believe they locked in Misfortune before Trundle, right? Trundle is the best jungler at countering Misfortune. Pillar knocks her out of her ult every time, and that's going to be Reggie's main job in team fights.
Well, even if you look at it, their entire team kind of like does that as well, right? You got the Trundle Pillar, you have the Explosive Fast from the Gragas, you have the Dredge line from the Nautilus, right? You have so many tools to get so much CC to get Misfortune out of that ultimate before it's able to really pop off.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think honestly, although I'm like, yeah, Misfortune, I think they win lane. I don't think they necessarily win. It's not win lane, win game. And I think Misfortune's hardest problem, like Potato piloting this champion into their team comp, the hardest thing he's going to be able to do is find a position to use her ultimate, which makes her so impactful in team fights.
Absolutely, and I think honestly, even the ultimate is definitely going to do a lot of damage, but I think the Kraken Slayer, which I'm hoping is going to be the build here, right? I'm hoping the Kraken Slayer is the one that's...
Oh yeah, I think you have to. I think
that's going to be like more so the auto attacks might actually be a bit more impactful, just kind of poking down all the health and the champions that we're going to have. We are getting a little bit of an AP mage type build from the Galio, right? You are seeing that lost chapter come through. But I think I want to even talk about, like, right, we're talking about like a little bit of the tanks that we have coming through, and like the bot lane. This is the first time where we have 2 tank supports, right? Before we had the Yuumi, and then at some point we had the Renata, who's like an off tank. But now we have just 2 tanks, right? We have the Leona and the Nautilus, and like I think it's kind of been like the meta has been leaning in favor of casters as the Drellin Connect, and the CC, like we talked about, is gonna take down antagonists. No summoner spells gonna be expended because he just CC'd for too long. Gonna get that first blood of the game over to the side of Elysium there. But like I was saying, right, I think the meta, people always say that it's like favored towards casters, but we're seeing a lot of these engaged supports come out and really put on for their team right now. Do you think that that tanks are the way to go in the bot lane right now? Do you think that engaged tanky supports are actually more vital than caster, like the Jannas, the Yumis, right? Where do you think the actual strength lies in terms of support right now?
Depends on how good your support is. I'm just gonna be honest. If your support is good at being able to keep themselves alive and focus on the health parts of their teammates, I think an enchanter can be more valuable than an engaged support, just because there are other roles that are really good at engaging. There's no other role that's good at supporting. You know what I mean? But that being said, and I know it's kind of crazy to say, oh yeah, I think that an enchanter can take more skill than an engaged support. But I'm just saying, a good Lulu will always be more impactful than a good Nautilus, man. Knowing the times of polymorph, yeah, like think about it. What brings more value, like a Nautilus or a Lulu? There's nothing that's going to replace a Lulu. But if I need another engage, I can just pick an engage jungler or an engage or like a Yone who can engage for me. You know what I mean? So I do think enchanters do bring a little bit more. However, in terms of being able to crush a lane and pair someone with a misfortune or something like that, the engage is going to be more valuable in the situation like that.
All right, so maybe a little bit of that the synergy between the ADC in terms of like what you really need to do, right? And with these two champions, you want the lockdown for the bullet time. You need the CC for the killer instinct from Kai'Sa to come out. And what we didn't see that we didn't really talk about is just the tempo from Reggie, right? Reggie has not let up on the tempo, picking up that Riptail a little bit ago. Right now, first one to the dragon, has that first move. Diana just coming out of base, right? So Reggie is really like just not letting his foot off the gas this game. He said, I'm coming out on top. Yeah, last game was like a little rough. I won't grief over my red. We are definitely gonna put Elysium on the map right now and start off strong in the season. Reggie now coming through with that Rift, gonna drop Rift, likely gonna rotate over to Drag right after. And I feel like there's like not much difference right now, and like I want to know your opinion too. There's like not much difference in terms of the gold, or a little bit now, I guess 1.5, and the actual kills. But if I had to say like a team was winning, like handedly, even more so than if they had 10 kills, I would say it would be Elysium. They just seem like they're like dominating this entire early game right now. What do you think?
I think I can't really disagree with you.
Hold that thought as the bullet time's gonna come out, land on 2. The solar flare comes down, hero entrance does come through. Thunderflare is gonna get knocked up. The dragon's still pretty low. Reggie's also low. Hold my words. Double kill over for the misfortune. Down goes Reggie, not gonna get this dragon, but Diana is on the creatine, picks up another one. Antagonist goes down. Reggie, all out potato, running for their lives, trying to get the last one down. Haman Karn picks up the dragon, and maybe 2 more kills to round out this dragon fight. As I was just saying, Elysium was winning this handedly. They just put my foot right in my mouth. Oh my god, but before that, we can definitely talk about that fight a little bit, but before that, how would you say the game was going?
Before that, I was going to say I definitely agree that Elysium's in the lead, but man, they stole the dragon. They were able to come back and close the gold gap, and 2 kills on Misfortune, 2 kills on Diana. I think right now I'm going to have to switch my answer to Hard Hat. I think off that, having 2 kills on Diana is huge. 2 kills on Misfortune to be able to match the Kai'Sa is really nice as well. So yeah, I think with that, we're going to be seeing not a big advantage, but a slight advantage on the side of Hard Hat.
Absolutely. And now I'm wondering, like, where in the actual decision making did Elysium go wrong? Because it seemed like they had the lane trial, right? They had the lanes pushing. They dropped the Retail mid. They were pretty much at both objectives first. Like, where did the actual kind of decision making go wrong, right? Even now we're seeing Diana is actually up in CS, now has these 2 kills, got that dragon. Tempo was in favor of Hard Hat Zone. Where was the slip up? Where did we miss something? Did we miss some sort of like macro excellence that like Hard Hat Zone just had brewing in their back pocket, or like was that just a misstep on the side of Elysium?
I think.
Oh no! Bennett goes down to the explosive cast. One last little barrel will take him down, and Gragas walks away with another kill.
I think the truth is just nobody dealt with the MF ult in time, man. That MF ult did damage, a lot of damage for that matter, and it took a while for it to stop. So I think once the MF ult was in play and nobody was able to stop it, they just ate it.
Play is gonna connect. Solar comes out, not gonna get away from this one. No siree. Bob the Void Seeker does land on a potato, but that'll be a dangerous killer instinct to take. That is not the instinct that you want to have. But definitely now Reggie getting caught out. Oh my god, and that jungle being a bit too aggressive, trying to steal those blue buff away. But like you were saying, right? You were saying like the bullet time just didn't get taken away. Whose job is that when you have so many tools, right? Is it everybody, nobody's job? Like whose job is that to take down the bullet time? Oh, hold that thought one more time. As again, Alec thought he got the Dredgeline connection, but definitely goes down because the rest of the team is there to back up antagonists. But whose job is that? Whose job is it to actually stop the misfortune?
Who's ever in the best position, like with everyone having the tools to it, just kind of who's ever in the best position. If Trundle's next to her, he needs to hit the pillar. If it's Gragas, he's gonna need to hit the knock up. Yeah, like whoever can get to her whoever closest needs to be able to hit it, or whoever in the best position to get around to stop it. But basically, the second you think that thing's going up, you have to be focused on taking it down. Otherwise, it's going to do too much damage, and you are going to suffer the consequences. And that's kind of what happened in the drag fight. And now, I honestly, just because I can't really decide myself, who do you think benefits more from this permanent fighting we are kind of seeing in this stage of the game?
I think 100% Hard Hat's own benefits, right? They're the ones that are like trying to sell this game out to the point where the Cassiopeia can come online. They want their Yone to scale up and get their items to come online. They want to be able to peel through a lot of these like tanks, right? And I think bruisers and champions like the Trundle, like the Gragas, have that early game advantage when it comes to just actually fighting for a bit. So like I think these early game skirmishes, while you would expect them to go in the way of Elysium because they just don't have the damage to peel through, if you're not going to use your CC to like actually stop their damage, right? Your entire team is CC locked, but you're not actually using it on the damage that you need to be, right? That Misfortune ultimate. The Moonfall landed on like 3 people in that last fight. The fact that they're all bundled up might be actually to their detriment, right? Because Misfortune wants you bundled up. Cassiopeia wants you bundled up for that ultimate. That Moonfall, if you're bundled up, which is like you have to be on top of them, is going to be kind of a danger. And then once all of those you're bundled up, that Fate Seal is going to seal your fate in that fight, and you're just done, right? So I think it definitely benefits Hard Hat too.
And I think right now, that is the truth. Surprisingly, it is still Elysium who have the gold gap because of the early plating and the towers and their ability to get the Rift Heralds. So it's still anybody's game. I think the biggest fear you guys have to have is the fact that the Diana is the one who has the majority of the gold on Hard Hat, and she's a tough champion to deal with once that Sunfire's built, and she's already halfway there.
Oh yeah, definitely the Diana's already halfway there to that. The Nashor Sunfire build, and both junglers really making a big impact, but in different ways, right? Diana having some of these kills, and being a bit more on the map when it comes to like pressuring just their lanes, and Reggie really being kind of that person that's picking up a lot of these attacks. Picked up that second Rift out. Gonna get caught out by the Moonfall land zone. 2 down goes Reggie yet again. Fate Seal, Heroic Interest comes in. All time tap that, but it's not gonna last that long this time. Amin Karn is trying to get one more pick on the Kaisa, but it doesn't happen. Book Wheeler is running for his life, but Zenith Blade is gonna connect. Again, the Acadian Rain's gonna take them down. All out Potato and Bennett maybe picking up that dragon, but decided that it's not gonna be worth their lives as Hard Hat Zone walk away with the win. Even though it's a 3-for-3, they're likely going to get that dragon.
That, once again, is just one hell of a fight! And they were able to secure the shutdown on Diana. I'm not sure, who was the one who picked the shutdown there?
I think it was actually the Kaisa that got that shutdown on that one, because Diana had went onto the backline, was about to die, and decided to get a little bit of last minute damage onto the Kaisa and just got Acadian Rain to oblivion.
Okay, I thought it was also the Kaisa, which means I think that's the best person who can pick up that bounty. I think ADCs are kind of get the best use of gold the majority of the time, and with Kaisa picking up that bounty, it is really big for them. She's pretty well matching the Misfortune and items at this point. Gragas was able to get a lot of value off of that, and Yone still kind of trailing behind. He has the Bork, which is good into the majority of Elysium's team, but that's all he really had.
Absolutely, and you even kind of called it in the early parts of the game, right? You said that unless he gets a lot of that top lane attention like he did in that first game, then he's going to have a little bit of trouble playing into either the Trundle or the Gragas. And that's exactly what we're seeing, right? Gragas just being a bit too, has a bit too much sustain to get poked out by a lot of the short trades that the Yone wants to take. But we're seeing now Diana, even though they got the shutdown, they are still sitting at 4-1. There is a bit of a gold lead in terms of like about 1,200 gold on top of Reggie. The Rift Herald is sitting on Reggie. I don't know where you want to go with this, but in terms of like the junglers, right? You're a jungler, right? What's going through your mind right now if you are the Diana, right? You're the 4-1 Diana. You have like most of your team's gold, right? Like how are you really making the biggest impact in this game right now?
Well, first off, Diana's a really fast farmer. So I think whenever your camp's up, you're just there to lead it and head to wherever you think you can make the most impact on the map.
Abandoned almost with the flashy play on the Gragas, trying to make the highlight reel. We see it, baby. We're going to clip that. But yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I think you just need to be wherever anything's happening on the map. You clear your camps. Try to stay near the Misfortune. I think you and Misfortune are going to be the main members of your team here. You have to be with the Misfortune on the same page of her and Leona, and being able to take any fight alongside of her, guaranteed you're going to win. On top of that, I think another major thing you can do is having Leona and Leona and Diana, for that matter. If Diana can pull the enemies into the Leona's ultimate there, the little sun thing that comes down and stuns you, I'm blanking on the name. But if she's able to get the
solar flare,
the sun rays to blind and stun everyone into position while Diana pulls them in, man. On top of that, if they're stunned, they can't run away from Misfortunal. It is huge. I think your two Fed players are the ones who have the best synergy with each other, and obviously Leona is going to be next to them the whole time. So I think as long as you're hovering the Misfortune, being ready to make a play when she is, I think that's the best you can do on the side of Con.
All right, Reggie drops the Rift out on the bot with a Baron to maybe sneak this Baron play. They're looking to maybe get an engage off on the rest of the team. It is going to be a 1v1 in the bot lane. TP available for both top laners. As they jockey around this Baron, the Rift out likely going to get maybe one charge off unless Bennett has something to say about that. But all right, and so now I want to pick your brain on the other end, right? Reggie, I think had a smart idea with the Rift out down there, but now you're Reggie. You're down. You're 0-3, but you have the team exchange. You are like the front line for your team. The rest of your team building a lot of damage. The flash comes out for a Laylex, but it's not going to connect. And the Barbsky's down. Xenoplay's going to miss. Gideon range coming down. The Moonfall connects on 3. Bullet time now on the same 3. They're getting burned down, but Relight goes back in and goes down. Double kill going over to the Misfortune. Reggie's running for his life. The Chrono Pillar is not going to stop him from dying as the Ghost comes out from Antagonist. A nice time stopwatch to stop the explosive guys from blowing you away. And that's going to be a 3-for-1 for the side of Hardhat Zone as they start this Baron.
Oh my lord. Hardhat has just shown why they were able to make the finals for Gladiators.
All right, but another fight. The Seal of the Fate is going to go land on the Creatine. A little too close for comfort. The 800 gold shutdown going over to Bennett. Now maybe online and able and ready to play. Doesn't matter what happened in lane because that scaling is starting to come through for Hardhat Zone.
You know what? That's really big. So obviously it's really big for Hardhat being able to get such a little advantage. That's a big advantage in that fight. However, that end play by Abandon and by Dog is also something that really is what keeps this game alive. Yeah, they're losing these big team fights, but they're doing just enough so that there's no gap created, and they're maintaining the dragon advantage and the gold advantage due to the fact that this game, they're the ones sieging.
Are you saying that was a valiant sacrifice by Crane Team to stop the Baron?
Oh, absolutely. Any day of the week, I'm taking that. Any day of the week. You're stopping 1,500 gold from being split between them, along with a massive Baron power play. So amazing. Great job by Creatine and Abandon stopping that Baron. And they were able to pick up Diana. It was 1-for-1.
Dragon has been started off. Both teams looking to rumble for this. Bodysam's not going to connect on the Diana. But Anna's Alelik just not really where they want to be. The Moonfall lands on 2, but Reggie's healed right back up. The team gets stolen by Diana's going to pick up Hamon. Karn does die though. However, Katie Ring comes out. Abandon getting low, but Boxy not where they want to go. Stunned up is Reggie. Reggie goes down, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 for the side of Hardhat Zone. And they pick up the Dragon. Rounded off at 2-for-2, but it's not done yet. The Twin Fang chasing down Abandon with a poison. Tick, tick, tock. No, the cast is going to come out and is going to slow them down. So that's going to be a 2-for-1 as the Cassiopeia just will not let up. They want Abandon. They want the shutdown. Abandon goes back in, tries to make a play, but just doesn't have it. I don't know why he doesn't just keep running there. The 850 gold goes over to Cassiopeia. And that's not exactly what you want to see if you're on Elysium right now.
No, it doesn't. Elysium is really falling in these fights. And it's looking good. They had the dragon stolen from them. It is Mountain Soul, which if they can pick it up, it's really good. A lot better on them than it is on Hardhat. But they are struggling so hard to play these fights. And it's the longer this goes on and the more gold that Hardhat keeps picking up from these fights, the harder it's going to be for them to really find it in. And the big problem that someone like Reggie has is he's playing an early game champion, but didn't get any of the gold in the early game, and now his only item is Athemas right now. He's trying to build Sunfires. He's just going full that's not Sunfire, sorry, but he's still trying to build full tank here to just try to be that big tanky threat for his Kai'Sa to hide him, but that means that your damage is strictly from Gragas and Kai'Sa. And that's going to be very hard for them, especially against a high damage team.
Stunned up and blinded by the Leona. Down goes Reggie just right away, face taking the entire team. Bennett now taking down Abandon. Oh, and the Nasher does go over to the side of Diana and the blue team. Gonna have to try to get out of the Elysium, but not gonna get out. Just getting hunted down by the rest. All 5 members of Hard Hat Zone now with the Baron, looking to make this power play with now all team coming online.
And that is that's tough. That's really, really, really tough. For it's even tougher for Elysium now. They have a strong team comp if they can get some good CC on the Misfortune and the Diana. But now we're even seeing Yone come online and Cassiopeia come online. It is Hard Hat's doing a really good job at just forcing fights to keep happening since they have the advantage. The more fights they take, the better it looks for them.
Absolutely, and I think something that we are really just, and maybe not even us, I think also something that Elysium might be even ignoring is that 7-1 Misfortune, all up potato, really just connecting with these ultimates, showing Creatine how it's done. Oh, another one, the killer engine comes through, Solar Blitz can land up, heroic entrance comes and lands on 3, but the team's already dead, it's too late. Oh, and down goes Cassiopeia. Bennett collects on Kai'Sa, and this is just a bloodbath all around. Madness, Trent, the fake seal comes out, it's gonna miss, Reggie's gonna flash away, Smite comes out to slow. Haman Karn goes down, and now it's a 2v2 between Bennett and Mabarbsky. Mabarbsky is gonna leave the Yone to die, maybe pick up one final kill here. It does get the trade back. Oh, but Bennett is still alive! Bennett is still alive, trying to life steal up a little bit as much as they can, but it's going to go down to the shutdown again for the side of Abandon, now sitting at 6-1 on that Gragas.
Abandon is doing a good... I gotta say, Abandon may have the best performance right now on this side of Elysium, especially kind of all day today. He's played really, really well. But he is very much the threat keeping them alive, and one of the major parts of pulling back and just cleaning up these fights after his team has kind of gone down. That being said, Gragas is not really as impactful as a Misfortune or Diana the majority of the time, which makes it kind of scary. And I don't think it's necessarily that they're ignoring the Misfortune as much as Potato's doing a really good job positioning away from all these big threats. She knows anyone on their team can really stop her besides Kai'Sa. But she is staying behind the wall that is Leona, staying behind real wolf pits, and just making sure nobody can touch her.
Absolutely. She did get taken down, the shutdown to go over in that last fight, but still has that shutdown gold available. Alex now going to connect the Dreadline on that. Misfortune comes right out, has to flash away, but down goes Alex, not in time. The antagonist is poisoned. Moonfall connects on only just the one. And Mabarbs is going to land that Venus Blade. Reggie now not again going down. Was having a great game, not so much. Abandon comes in to pick up one kill to trade that back. Is going to get chased down by the Fate Silver. Is going to barely inch himself away out of that, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 for the side of Hard Hat Zone yet again, coming out on top of these fights.
Yes, they are, and I think that is making it. I think the fighting is really what's been messing up. Elysium, they were doing really well in laning, and now the team fights, it's so hard for them to play it because of Diana, Leona, Misfortune. Diana, Leona, Misfortune, man. DML are just so much. It's insane, and it's like usually you have a Kai'Sa outscale Misfortune, but I mean when Misfortune is 10-11, she is hitting like a Mack truck. When you're a little baby Mitsubishi driving down a highway, man, you just get rammed right through. One shot is like half your health bar now, and then once bullet time hits, you have like 2 seconds to get away to just even survive, but you won't be in any fighting condition.
Oh my god, if you're listening, right, definitely make a champion that just shoots cars out of something. I wanna see a Subaru Outlander or like a Nissan Maxima just run somebody over.
What car is it a Tesla that they had to put in the Starwalker video? Just make a champion. There's a fighting game character that's literally just a car. I forget what game it's from, but they're literally just a car. Oh, actually, speaking of cars.
The heroic entrance is going to come through. The Zanya's going to come through. That really want Abandon shut down. take that momentum away from Elysium, their hero. Their shining light has gone down like a, I don't know.
Down like a Mitsubishi.
Yeah. As Reggie is in poked out, Book of Eli now stuck between Bennett and gonna get stunned up, but not gonna get enough. Eli's gonna go down to, and Reggie also the double kill, the triple kill, going over to the side of Bennett, showing who is the greater top laner in this game. You have the 7-2 of Bennett, 7-2 Bennett. The top lane is really putting on for their team right now.
Yes, they are, and man, just it is possible to come back, but it's hard. They're on soul point.
Yeah,
they have successfully gotten the tower advantage. 7k gold gap, a fed Misfortune, now a fed Yone. Yone using that last team fight to really boost himself in this game. Triple B Bennett showing just the skills on the Yone, even when he doesn't have a lot of gold in him. And now it's coming down to the wire. If something drastic needs to change for Elysium here, for them to be able to come back in this game.
Absolutely, I think they definitely gotta make some changes. But I think I don't even know if there is a change. I think we're seeing almost like a flip from the game one that we saw, where it was Triple B Bennett kind of really doing all of the work for his team. Right, it looked like it was Bennett. And Co, right? It was Bennett and company. Now it's kind of abandoning company, and I'm hoping that his team doesn't actually abandon him, because yeah, that was low hanging fruit, but we got it. That was so I want to know if abandon has what it takes to kind of pull this out. Bennett couldn't do it. With the gold that he had, with the reasons that he had, but now Barbie is not where they go. It's gonna bind him up with the stun rays. Oh my God! The fake still lands on 3 bullet time as well. Connects. Void Seeker gonna miss just wide left. Minecart takes down Adelic for the first kill of the second kill of this fight. And it's gonna be a 2 for 1 for the side of Hardheaded Zone coming out on top of this fight. Likely gonna move over to this Baron, but it's gonna see if they come back to contest this dragon with their jungler down.
You know, I gotta say, this is the first time I feel like they played the fight correctly, where Elysium was able to just sit on Misfortune and not really give her a chance of bullet time. You notice how Misfortune wasn't that impactful in that fight. She was still strong. And if they were playing fights earlier into the game like that, I think they'd be winning this far into the match. But because it's taken them so long to be able to figure out a way to get onto that Misfortune, it's just so hard. It's just so hard.
Misfortune doesn't have to be the carry in these fights. When you have a Cassiopeia sitting on Leandri's and Deathcap with the first part of a Void Staff, right? You don't have to be the carry when you have a 7-2 Yone that's sitting on 3 items and now has the luxury of building tank, right? You don't have to do as much damage because you now have that the 17 assist Diana landing Moonfall on like 2-3 people, just being a meat shield with all the shields in the Sunfire's case and your team right there. Oh no, Triple B Bennett gonna have to try to get away really quick. Does get away with that ultimate, but almost got caught out there by the Book of Eli. A good smart play from the side of Elysium, but now they are going to defend this mid tower, this Baron power play push. Maybe not as smart as we thought.
You know, yes and no. Elysium knows they can't really take the team fight. They learned, even stopping him out, they can't really take the team fight. Their inhib's still going to be up if the minions don't take it down. And now the problem they have here is, what do you do? Do you try to defend Soul, or do you drop the inhib and fight the dragon? I think you have to drop the inhib and fight the dragon. If Bennett was dead, you could just send 4 for it. You could just send all 5 and try to win the team fight, but nah, you need to fight the dragon. If that Mountain Soul goes, your win condition is gone. They need to get Soul.
They need to fight the dragon. That's exactly what they're doing. Nautilus in the back line, not really doing much, doesn't have enough utility, just not where you really want to be. Their team is split. They were split between the inhib. The inhib does still go down, but they pick up that dragon to stop the Soul.
They do stop the Soul. That's huge. That's like, you cannot undervalue how big that is for them. But that it.
Oh, the Killer Instinct keeps Creatine alive. What an impactful play right there, but it's going to get caught by the Moonfall. Now at half health, running for the lives. The KJ Rain's going to come out. Miasma's going to take them away. No, but Hardhead Zone is here with reinforcements. 2 members now dead. 3 members now dead for the side of Elysium as they make this charge down. Still have the Baron buff in this bot side.
It was looking so good for Elysium there, but ultimately just a bait and a huge turnaround and saving Private Yone. And now it is down to Book of Eli, Elysium, and our king, Abandoned 666, to keep this game alive long enough for that dragon to come up. The tower's gonna fall. It looks like a second inhib's gonna go down. and they might just push to end
And
here.
Hard Zone is out for Blood Bussy, flashes in, stuns up Lilic, and he's going to go down. The heroic injury is not going to be enough to save them. Close to the class, does split to the team. Solar Flare lands, and the double kill's going over to the side of Diana, as it looks like Hard Zone is going to take Game 3 in the series of Elysium versus Hard Zone. What a match.
What a match we just witnessed here, folks. A reverse sweep from Hard Hat. And just 3 really, really good matches. The last two very bloody. The first one very consistent. But ultimately, Hard Hat found their footing. Realized they didn't have to stomp every lane to win. And if they just draft a good comp, they're able to win the team fights. And I think that's going to show a lot heading later into the series. They're stepping up from Gladiator to Conqueror and realizing, yeah, we can't just smash every lane anymore. There is more to the game than that, but they turned it around quick. They found their footing, and once they did, they were able to take down Elysium in 3 hard-fought matches tonight. So congratulations to Hard Hat for picking up their first series in Conqueror.
Absolutely. And like you said in the very start of this, and this is all I keep thinking about as we watch these 3 games unfold, is that this is going to set the tone for the rest of Conqueror. This is going to be with every other stream match, with every other team that ends up on this Titan Esports Twitch. Every other team has the pleasure and luxury of having the mastermind Fort Maestro produce for them. This is the caliber and level of gameplay that we are going to be looking at for the rest of the season. And that is exciting to me. I think if I'm Hard Hat Zone, I'm hella excited for winning this game. But if I'm just a viewer watching this, I am excited to see what Conqueror has in store for the rest of the league.
Could not say it better myself. This was week 1 of Conqueror, and man, I can't wait to see what the rest of the season has in store. Something else that's crazy is during this, the power rankings were released, or a little bit before, and it had, I believe, Elysium going 2-0 into Hard Hat. So it just shows how unpredictable this Conqueror is going to be.
Absolutely. And it is getting a little late. It's almost midnight, so I do want to wrap it up. But before we wrap this up, I need to know your opinion on this one final thought. Who is the MVP of the series?
Oh.
Who would you give? Who really is the MVP of the series, right? And like, I want to throw you some options, right? I want to throw you some options really quick.
Throw me
right?
some options. I have a name in my head.
You have. I'm gonna start with All Out Potato, right? You didn't. All Out Potato in this last game really was the reason as to why they were able to do so much, right? Really piloting that misfortune to victory, right? Coming out and what was the most important game, right? He was the most important player in the most important game, right? Then you have, and I'm gonna throw this out. You have Abandon 666, and even though Abandon was on the losing team, was likely the most impactful player for their team, right? Was the reason they were even in game 3, was the reason that Triple B Bennett wasn't able to take over in game 1, right? Was a huge role in their game 1 victory, and also a huge role in like just maybe not so much of the Aatrox, but like in game 1 and game 3, definitely huge, especially in this last game as well. And I want to, and of course, the last one that I'm going to throw out here is Triple B Bennett, and I want to maybe even highlight that Haman Karn definitely did a lot in terms of like that Bennett, that's but also Triple B Bennett here now popping off in game 1, popping off in game 3, making sure that Aatrox couldn't get online with Lilia. Who do you think is this MVP here?
You know, it's funny. The name I had in my head was the one you gave the honorable mention to. I feel like Khan did, even though I may have not agreed with some of his builds and stuff, I just feel like he did so much. Whether he was playing from behind to steal an Elder, I still think his moment from any of these series, like any of the 3 matches, that steal was insane. But I just think he did so much to set up his team. The Jarvan, a lot of the picks were a combination of him and Barry. I think that the Jarvan Amumu combo, man, absolutely incredible. I think that's what truly won them game 2. Like, I think everyone played well. Antagonists really showed some great stuff in game 2. I think Triple B Bennett was pretty good in the majority of the matches, but I think Khan was just consistently good. He was great with the picks. He smashed it with Diana, knew what he needed to do, was a major reason that nobody could get to Misfortune this game. And that's not to say that everyone else that he was the carry every game. No, I think you can't deny Bennett played great. Potato played great. They all played great. Khan just did what he needed to do. Khan did. I think the first game was a little bit of a warm for him. You see, closer towards the end is when he found out what he needed to do. But he played great at making sure that Reggie couldn't, trying to stop Reggie from getting the top laner so far ahead. He knew Abandon was a threat, was able to either get his bot lane ahead or make sure Abandon didn't for the majority of the matches. So yeah, no, I think if I have to give my personal MVP, and maybe I'm just biased because I'm a jungle main, I think it would go to Khan, then probably Abandon. I think Abandon has got the best Valiant effort on Elysium. He played his heart out. He played out of his freaking mind, man. And that guy has not lost a touch since switching from Hyperion. That man is insane.
Actually incredible. I have to 100% agree that Abandon is insane. I believe our producer had a little bit of a comment for us. I'm going to need you to repeat that one more time just to know whether we're wrapping this up.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, make sure you vote on Twitch who the MVP is. Either All Out Potato, Abandon, Bennett, or Khan. And it's actually looking like the majority of the chat thinks it's Abandon. 30 votes on Abandon right here. And then second place is going to Khan. Then again, you can vote with 1 channel point. So, I mean, if you just smash the channel point button, which is what's happening here for Khan, I think I'm not going to lie, I see Khan in the chat, and I wouldn't be surprised if Khan is just sitting there spamming.
That's definitely not Harmon Khan. That's
there's a race.
The name definitely just tells you it's not.
Oh, yo, my bad. It is not Harmon Khan. My bad. You're absolutely correct. There's actually just a race between Abandon and Khan in here. But yeah, I think that it just shows Abandon and Khan are going to be your MVP and Valiant effort. It's like both of them. Like, I think everyone played really well this series. I think honestly, I don't mean to be too rude here, but I think the mid lane was the least impactful in each team, both games. I think, like, don't get me wrong, the Victor came out really nice. The Talia came out really nice. Who was mid for Elysium game 1? Oh, my bad. Like, Corky. Book of Elysium had a hell of a showing on Corky game 2. But I feel like they were so reliant on, by the time they came online into their games, that it just felt like either bot or top was already so far ahead.
Oh, absolutely. They were like the panic button. They were the fail safe for both teams in terms of like just making sure that they have some sort of late game scaling, some sort of team fight. And they were, I mean, they had impact maybe in terms of like making sure that you had control around the objectives, but I would absolutely agree. Like just the top lane and the bot lanes and the jungles were really the shining pivotal points of both of these teams here. It looks like Harmon Khan is going to be, right, the person that you wrote is going to be our MVP for tonight. And we're going to wrap it up here pretty quick. But just really quick, we make sure you tune in. This is going to do it for the first week of Titan Esports, but make sure you tune in next Monday for Divinity at 8 p.m. We have on Tuesday Gladiator League at 8 p.m. Monday is with the legendary Craze and Shot Duck. On Tuesday we have Fun Phoenix, and I believe Romeo, you're there as well, right?
No. I actually will be playing in next week in there, so okay. I won't.
All right, let's go. We're gonna, you know what I'm saying? We're still gonna support you. Make sure that if you're one of the 8 to like 10 people watching the Romeo Twitch, go follow him on Twitch. What is it really quick?
My Twitch is TI Romeo. It's pretty easy to find. I am streaming. I was streaming my face cam for this cast on my channel, so
go follow him. He puts on Walmart face paint and rages about donations. But
okay, buddy.
Then also tune in on Wednesday night, and you'll see T1 Romeo once again, as well as myself, Goose. That's gonna do it for us here on Titan Esports for tonight. Peace out, Titan.
Adios, Titan. It was a pleasure casting for you all. Woo! We survived.